Yeah. Finna get it. Watch me. Finna get it now. Finna get it, watch me run it down. Finna get it, never backing out. Finna get it, yeah, I'm up and I'm out. Used to know me when I nothing in my pockets. Now they see me and they talking, always watching. I remember when you said I wouldn't make it. Now you mad because I took it, didn't fake it. Pressing every day, yeah, I was patient. Putting all that work, no hesitation. Now I'm getting everything I'm chasing. Look at me now, yeah, I'm elevation. Finna get it now. Finna get it, watch me run it down. Finna get it, never backing out. Finna get it, yeah, I'm up and I'm out. See me pulling up, they switching how they acting. Back then, you weren't here when I was lacking. Now you want a piece of what I'm stacking. But I remember everything that happened. Keep it moving, ain't no time for all that talking. I've been running to the bag, I'm never walking. They've been sleeping, I've been up until the morning. Now I'm winning and there ain't no way I'm falling. Finna get it now. Finna get it, watch me run it down. Finna get it, never backing out. Finna get it, yeah, I'm up and I'm out. Yeah, they doubted me, they did it, now they proud of me.
Good evening, everyone. Woobies here. Welcome for the second race day of the round 5 of the InfinityGSeries 2026. After two fantastic races yesterday with Jomas, I have a new commentator with me because Jomas doesn't like this racetrack, while it's absolutely fantastic to race on this Dragon Trail Gardens Reverse. Good evening, Pyro. How are you, mate?
Evening. I am doing pretty good. I'm looking forward to everything that we've got tonight. If it's as advertised yesterday, then we'll be in for some pretty good racing. I think.
Yeah, because yesterday it was absolutely madness, and this absolutely this this finish between Simfrim and Vanquish Esports, and we have two exciting races coming this evening, with the first one in around 20 minutes, with our first 6 team on screen: Customs GT, Avalon Motorsport, Control the Time, 92 Esports, Deluxe Team, and Nexus. And for the second race later this evening, Team Monza Racing, Visceral Esports, Avutarda Racing Team, All Esports, Jokers Team, and Annexion. And we are round 5 already, so we are almost done with the first phase of the championship. It's now or never to score big points if those teams want to be qualified in the top 6 or at least the top 12.
Yeah, some of these teams already effectively out of time. If you're on that right-hand side of the screen right now, you are probably in a lot of trouble at this point in time. AGT probably the only one not really in trouble against that top 12, but if you look to the top 6 in particular, it's a long way to try and claw back for the highest end for the Golden Rocket League, though, isn't it? It's quite insurmountable, but it's going to take some doing.
Yeah, and we had some teams, especially the All Sport, losing a lot of position after last round, now in 10th position. They can pretend to be in this top 6, but they need to score big points in the final race of this round 5 for the Spanish team. What's your feeling, what's your thought about this racetrack, Dragon Trail Gardens reverse layout with this magnificent Porsche 911 Carrera RS from 1995? Do you like this track, especially in reverse, or not?
I love myself a Dragon Trail. Right. So,
thank you.
Seaside did great. Gardens is also exceptional. So usually whenever I'm making my own tournaments, I do like to include a Gardens variation, just because it's such a chaotic mess, but it's also just so fun to get right. It's difficult to get right. That's probably the biggest point about it. It's extremely difficult to get right, but once you get it right, it is so unbelievably satisfying. There is one gripe. One gripe I do have with Dragon Trails, and it's more split between the two tracks rather than a gripe with either track itself, right?
Yeah, we had a grumpy Jomas yesterday saying, this track should not exist. He was like,
the only gripe I have with the Dragon Trail situation as a whole is that it can rain here. It can rain at Gardens, but it can't rain at Seaside. Yeah, that's the gripe I have. Yeah, I could be here all day talking about that. Now it makes absolutely zero sense.
Absolutely nonsense. And this track we've seen yesterday, the 4 apex left corner, the SS section, the chicane. There is a lot of traps where drivers can fall. We've seen some big mistakes, and especially with these cars, and massive tire wear for this round. 11 times for the tire wear. 4 times for the fuel consumption, 16 laps. Of course, before that, the qualifying session. It's easy to do a mistake in those conditions. Hopefully, there is no rain tonight for this combo, but imagine if with rain it could be.
I'm not saying, you say imagine, we hope we have no rain, but I don't know, as a commentator, and purely as a commentator, I kind of want it to happen. I am what people will realize as we go along. I am effectively an agent of chaos. If it is chaotic, I am here for it.
Perfect.
The rain would provide the utmost chaos, because nobody would be able to keep the car on the track, because it's already, I'm watching in the practice session, it's already all over the place. Everyone is sliding away, drifting through turn 1 and 2 in particular. Rain would just be an absolute mess, and I am 100% here for it.
Almost everyone is already there in the lobby. Qualifying session should start in 15 minutes, I would say. Before that, we will have, of course, the presentation video of Finlay presenting our 6 first team of the evening. Maybe I can show you just there the picture of our 6 first teams of the evening. Basically in terms of strategy, from what we've seen with Jomas, it's just everyone pitting at the end of lap 8 mid-race because the tires can't do more than 8 laps, basically. But we've seen some drivers gaining position because they saved enough fuel in the first stint to do a very quick pit stop, and also teams refueling like 5-10 liters less compared to the others, and safe fueling in the second stint. It's the fuel that we will have to take a look, I think, Pyro.
Yeah, that's saying. I was looking at it, and obviously these teams will know a lot more than I am, but I'm also thinking that undercuts might be possible if they go through at 7. If you're saying that the tires can only do 8 laps, obviously most will go in at 8. They've probably already figured this out. But I wonder if the undercut's worth it, because obviously you'll have
I think it's absolutely suicidal to do the undercut, or doing at least a stint of 9 laps with this tire wear.
At the end.
If someone is doing it and managed to gain position compared to where he was before doing this strategy, just GG. But I'm not sure if it's efficient, but I'm not the driver, so so
I was saying that the reason why we're commentators, the reason why we're commentators, and they're on the track, isn't it?
Exactly.
They've done the work for this. We can do it from our end, but we're definitely a few seconds slower than these guys, I reckon, if I was to put money on it.
So just taking a quick look at the provisional rankings after the 2 first races of last evening for the total race times. Freemy Sport with B-Racer and Alu are leading, and just 1 second ahead of the Vanquish Esport P2. Azteca Racing Motorsport with Brea and Diego Horas doing a 1-2 in the first race of yesterday evening, are in 3rd position, just ahead of the Kraken Stains GT, doing a really great job yesterday by finishing 3rd and 4th in the first race behind the 2 Azteca Racing Motorsport drivers. We have AGT driver also with some pretty solid results in the top 5 right now. Behind them we have Thunderlights Racing, Elite Racing Squad on P7 with Bezi and Nixo having some troubles in the midfield, and with some accident as well. Alien Motorsport only P8 as well, but with a nice recovery. It could have been worse yesterday evening, but they managed to gain few position, especially Joko starting last on the grid but finishing P8, if I remember correctly. My Team Esports P9 in the provisional standings for this round 5. Hydra Range Sport, Maniac Revolutions, and EPLF Sim Racing at the 3 last provisional positions in the total race time standings for this round 5. Just checking if everything is okay regarding the broadcast. Good evening, everyone, for those who are joining. I will have the presentation video of Finlay in 10 minutes, I think. What we can say more about tonight's combo? Maybe we can already go, I think, up on this. Just before that, just showing the waiting and stopping zone for the qualifying session. Drivers will park their car at the exit of the chicane before being called for their quali lap, and once they finish their lap, cars will be parked in the runoff area in turn 1. Also speak about the best pole position lap time of yesterday evening. It was B-Racer in 142.477. Best fastest lap during the race also set by B-Racer in 142.275, and the best total race time also by B-Racer in 28 minutes 6 seconds and 3/10. This is not a surprise to see B-Racer doing best pole position, best fastest lap, best total race time. He was already over the others on the previous round with the Mazda on the Red Bull Ring. He did it again on Dragon Trail. It's not a surprise from Valerio.
No, absolutely not. However, I would like to draw the attention in this practice session that we currently have. You said it was 0.4. we currently already have a 0.3 in this lobby from Gran. So he's looking for a little bit of revenge after everything that happened in Austria, which, well, anyone who watched that race would realize how absolute level of carnage that was. It looked like last night continued on the madness from Austria. Speaking of where we left off, but yeah, Moreno looking to come back strong.
Yeah, he wants to. Yeah. After what happens in the final lap of it was race number 3, I think it was first race of day 2.
3,
with this chaotic finish with 92. There was also the ERS Krakenstein's GT also was there in this epic final final race in this race 3. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Samuel wants to be back on top for this race, and he's already in a very good pace in this warm-up session, already quicker than Valerio pole position lap.
Qualifying time,
that's
exactly. The qualifying time at the very least. That's going to be interesting to see whether or not he can sneak into that position then, isn't it? Because that's where it's going to be. Obviously, we had VQS in the same lobby as Simframe last night, which is already explosions and fireworks whenever those two teams come together. That's a certain. And now we get to see 92 relatively on their own in this lobby, if I'm completely honest with you. They've got Customs in there as well. Customs not too bad of a team with Sigma and Child, but if I'm honest with you, I would expect 92 to be relatively unchallenged.
Yeah, we have two teams in the top 6, in the current top 6 in the general standings, 92 Esports and Customs GT in 6th position. We also have with them in this first race Avalon Motorsports 11th in the general standings, Control the Time in 20th position, and Deluxe Esports 15th, and Nexus in 21st position also in the standings. But a pretty easy, if I can say that, lobby for 92, but be careful because behind Control the Time, Deluxe, Nexus and Avalon, they need points if they want to stay in the battle for at least being in the top 12.
Yeah, they all need to. It's a good it's a good point to make, because those 3 teams in particular that are on the outside looking in, well, they've all got each other today, so it's a good choice, a good chance to take the actual points and see get the obviously like the team total time up, because they are racing each other. They won't not be like 6th. They could be like 6th in the lobby, for example, which should give them a fairly good position to be on the week, and being able to pick that point up to try and shift themselves just closer to 12th if they can get it.
Exactly. Is everyone in the lobby? Yes, everyone is there. So Moreno and Hypers, Mateo Esteves for 92 Esports are on track. Regarding Avalon lineup, it's Ruiz and Esteve for Avalon on track. For Deluxe Deluxe Esports, sorry, it's Gumu we've seen already in this championship, and who is his teammate? It's Moore. For Control the Times, we have Gimartos and Alcorte, who did most of the race for Control the Time. He was in round 1, round 2. Yeah, he did all round Alcorte since the beginning of the season for Control the Time. For Customs GT, it is Charles and Sigma racing for the team. And I think I forgot a team for Nexus. It's Rob Cuban and Cacho driving. And I think we are all good for our 12 drivers in this first race of the evening. Moreno still the fastest on track during this warm-up session in 42.3, so it's more than a tenth quicker than Valerio Gallo pole position lap time yesterday evening. But there are also some very good lap time. Gumu in 42.8. We have Sigma also in 42.9. So yeah, below 43 is a very, very, very solid lap time for being at the top of the grid.
Yeah. I'd say I'm also looking in particular for control of time at Alcott, because obviously 2 weeks ago I was in that race 3 that we were talking about with the 6 out front. So he's got the potential to just to spoil a little bit. If he can hit the ground running, and that's the important part. Some of these drivers, in particular with Alcott, with Charles, with Sigma, they have to get going early, otherwise the race is going to be over before it even starts. So if they can get off the ground, they can get themselves a good qualifying time, get themselves to the top 5, they're going to prove a problem eventually for at least 1 or 2 of these top teams that at the top. I am looking forward to some of this because of Avalon as well. Not 2 guys I'm not actually used to when it comes to Avalon. Reeds in particular just did a 42.7, puts him second fastest in the lobby for practice. But yeah, I'm more used to Rodri, so I'm looking to see what they can bring to the table today.
Yeah, and we will see that in a few minutes. But I think before that, it's time for the presentation video of Finlay presenting to you our 6 first teams of the evening, and we are then right after we are back for the start of the qualifying session of the first race of the evening.
Good evening, folks. This is Tuesday. It is race 3 of round 5 here at the InfinityGSeries for 2026 at the Red Bull Ring. 2 teams in this particular race are currently in the top 6 and in prime position for the Golden Rocket spots come season's end. One of them is Customs GT, who had another consistent run at the Red Bull Ring, with Charles coming home P3, impressing once again. He's been very impressive, actually. He only just missed out on race wins at Mount Panorama and Deep Forest Raceway at the opening 2 races of the season. Sigma home P5, ably assisting once again. But 29 points scored. It's still enough for the team to keep hold of P6 and standings, occupying that last remaining Golden Rocket spot. But they're yet to actually score above 31 this season, which is something all the other teams in the top 5 and a good few of the teams around them have done. So the one, criticism I'd maybe give is that they've maybe been a bit too consistent. A 35 plus score would probably consolidate a spot in the top 6 from there. Only 4 points ahead of Elite Racing Squad and a further 3 ahead of Kraken Staines GT, who are really breathing down their neck for that Golden Rockets berth come the end of the regular season. So a larger score, which we can maybe see tonight, would take some of the pressure off, and I expect them to be fighting up for the race win with both cars if they want to realise their ambitions of a top 6 finish come season's end. Avalon Motorsport had a phenomenal 2-3 finish at Lake Maggiore. The pressure was on the former Pilpy champions to sustain this momentum, to consolidate a silver spot, but maybe also push up to a golden spot potentially come the end of the regular season. But the Red Bull Ring came about, and it was with the same driver combination of Rodri and Aramando, and they only finished 8th and 9th on merit, and that was not the result the team looking for at all. That's 16 points scored for the round, and it now sees them in a scrap with Annexion, AGT, and my team, among others, for a spot in the Silver Rockets. A finish similar to Lake Maggiore would undoubtedly push them further up. That 34-point hole that they scored at Lake Maggiore is a higher score than any Customs GT race this season, and they're in the Golden Rocket spot, so it's just a case of consistency for Avalon more than anything. I think they are pretty much set on a silver spot or a bronze spot. I think Golden's maybe out of the reckoning for them, but a good result like we saw like Maggiore, maybe getting both cars in the top half even would be a good result compared to other teams around them. So keep an eye out for that tonight. Control the Time are a team that haven't got much of the way in stream exposure this season. They've often been seen sort of, trundling around the back of the field. But 2 weeks ago at the Red Bull Ring, a first top half finish of the season for the team, courtesy of Alcote, a 15-point score with Bondman 11th, and that jumps the team only into 20th in the standings, and they're still 41 points behind the silver spot, so they are pretty much consigned to the Bronze Rockets tier come playoffs. But it is encouraging signs for them, a top half finish, as I say. So could this be something for the team to push on from and maybe gain a foothold on the bronze tier before playoffs come about? We'll keep an eye out for that as well. Now, the other team I expect to be fighting up front this evening, 92 Esports, one of the top tier teams this season I've been very impressed by, looking to take advantage of this slip-off we've had from the former championship leaders, Owls Esports, in the last 2 rounds. Things did take a bit of an awkward slip at the Red Bull Ring. Their cars came all over the line, P3 and P4, good points on paper, and Ghost Baby actually got promoted up to P2 after a penalty for Jose Ito, the Kraken Staines driver. But Samuel Moreno picked up 16 seconds himself worth of penalties for a number of incidents. got pushed back to P10 post-race, which is comfortably the worst finish of the season for a 92 driver, and he was also their worst scorer of the season with only 20 points. It's not the end of their season whatsoever, but another couple of rounds of ill-discipline, that you lose the bonus points as well for the clean race, combined with the unpredictability of the series, could see a similar fate bestowed on them as we saw with Owls Esports. They are still sitting very nicely indeed in P3, but they obviously do need to be wary of the teams around them after a minor drop-off, because if it wasn't for that, they could have been in the championship lead, but we obviously now have Vanquish in P1 at the moment, so I'd expect them to be up there fighting for the win tonight. Another team that maybe could be up there is Deluxe Esports, another team you thought of could have broken through after Lake Maggiore. Toto Coco picked up a season-best P4 finish for the team, and the same driver picked up another top-half finish at the Red Bull Ring 2 weeks ago, but it was only P6, and his teammate Lassetti making his first appearance of the season, finishing P7. That's 19 points scored for the team, their second-best finish of the season. But other teams around them, like my team and Maniacs, did outscore them. They're still very much in the Silver Rockets race in 15th. But a result similar to Lake Maggiore, all both cars in top half, once again, as I said, with Avalon, would likely push them into the top 12 spot and prime position to realise their pre-season ambitions of non-bronze rocket playoff action. They definitely do have the potential, but they do need to realise it soon. With only 3 regular season rounds left, they need to start tonight ideally, but they are in the very tough group with Customs and 92. If they're able to maybe make it the third best team there, then that could be some decent points for them. And then the final team in this first race of the evening, Nexus, a team not many had heard of before they made their series debut this season, coming through the pre-season qualifier. Positive signs post Lake Maggiore, that was their first double-digit point score of the season of 16. Things seem to be on the up, but they were kind of battling at the bottom with EPLF a couple of weeks ago at the Red Bull Ring for the duration of the race. Pac-Man did get promoted to P9 after Samuel Moreno's penalty for 92, as I mentioned, but Rob Cuben still only finished P12, so only 8 points picked up, and it's part of a small core of teams at the bottom who you sense are consigned to the Bronze Rockets action. That battle with control of the time this week, though, could be really important to them, like it was with EPLF a couple of weeks ago, come that Bronze Rockets playoff race, come the end of the regular season, because the points are carried over into playoff action that you garner during the regular season. So it's not like everything's eradicated to zero. If control of the time and Nexus could get some decent points tonight, maybe finishing outside of that bottom 4, which we think they might be consigned to, then that could be good action for them heading towards the playoffs, because they are kind of consigned to that Bronze Rockets action. That's the first race of the evening for you, the third race of the round. I'll be back pre-race 4 to preview it for you, and I will see you then. And back to the commentary desk now.
Thank you very much, Finlay, for those amazing videos. And qualifying session is about to start. Perfect. And what we've seen before this video with Pyro, there are some teams and drivers that are who are able to annoy, I think, Customs, GT and 92 Esports. This qualifying session can be quite unpredictable.
Yeah, this track as a whole is quite unpredictable, and that's what will cause everything that's going around. Yeah, you get one corner wrong here, could affect the entire lap, because obviously you've got the quadruple right, left-hander technically going in reverse. If you get that wrong, you might as well say goodbye to the rest of it. But there's also extra points in this track where you can trip up fairly easily. It's one of those where you have to be on the ball the entire time, and one shot, Super Bowl qualifying, one shot to everyone else is never usually a point where you get to be on point the entire time. So the mistakes will creep in.
Okay, everyone has left the pit lane, so it's time for them to do a wall lap and to park their car at the exit of the chicane now. So for our 12 drivers on track, Moreno for 92 Esports, Rob Cuben and Cacho for Nexus, Alcourte and his teammate Martos for Control the Time, Reese for Avalon Motorsport with Esteve, his teammate, Sigma and Charles for Customs GT, Gumu and More for Deluxe, and Moreno teammates for this evening for 92 Esports, Hypers. And Moreno is about to park his car, and I don't know who will be which team will be called in first. I think it's I think it is Nexus, I think, first team to be called, and then Control the Time, and the third will be, I think, Deluxe Esports, and the last 3 teams called will be Avalon Motorsports, Customs GT, and then 92 Esports, Nexus.
There you go, Nexus just got called
Yeah.
through, so that's going to be them getting ready to start there. So it's Rob Cuban and Cacho to start with. We'll have to keep an eye on where they're going to set the bar. Their practice times were not setting the world alight in the high 43s. They are going to have to find a lot of time and find it very quickly.
And just a quick message to say hello to Il Conte, Sky and Floris in the chat. Good evening, guys. I hope everything is okay regarding the broadcast. Don't hesitate in the chat to tell if there is any problem regarding the sound or the video. Of course, our first 3 teams are entering or leaving now for Nexus, the pit lane, doing their now outlap. And with not the same aerodynamic parts for both Nexus cars. Alcourtier and Martos leaving the pit lane now. More. It's more or more? I don't know how to pronounce it.
I would assume it's more.
More, yeah. Let's say
the
more.
Capitalized. I think it's more the capitalization of the R, but I could be reading into that.
Yeah. Gumo is easier to say.
We'll get a message. We'll get a message in chat with it. Just people spamming us that it's not actually the right way of saying it whatsoever. We just absolutely botched it.
Yeah, sorry in advance, and Floris saying, yeah, broadcast is all good. Thank you very much, Floris. And once again, congrats for the race last evening, even if the result is not the one expected for VQS, of course, but thanks for the show you gave us yesterday. It was absolutely amazing. It was a blast to watch you all four battling so hard but so fair with those terrible tires. And Rob Cuban leaving the chicane, and Nexus is about to start their qualifying lap in a few seconds. And a tiny gap between the two Nexus drivers. They don't want to be annoyed.
This is one of the tracks though, the slipstream is, well, the weak slipstream will be beneficial, but it won't be quite helpful if that's the easiest way of saying it, because slipstream turns into dirty air, and around this track, dirty air is not the best place to be. I'll tell you that much. That's the quickest way to end up in a wall. But yeah, so you want to be in touch with your teammate, but you also want to be a decent chunk of time away, or a decent chunk of the track away, to get yourself in a position where you're not also going to be influenced if your teammate makes mistakes.
Jim Martos, be careful, a bit wide, exit of turn 2. Not the best way to start a qualifying lap for Martos.
No, definitely not. You got to get making mistakes on the qualifying lap is an easy way to head toward the bottom. That's a certain. Means Alcourt will have to do a little bit more of the heavy lifting for them then in this qualifying session. But that's what we were kind of coming to expect already anyway from the Control the Time team so far. Let's see if they can hit a little bit.
Cacho in 111, end of sector 2 is not very good. We've seen some teams yesterday being in 110, low 110, I think, end of sector 2. So this is not that good. Let's see the first lap time of this qualifying session for Rob and Cacho crossing the line.
43, I reckon, here. I don't think it's going to be a particularly competitive 43 either. To the line here, 40, 41. 42, 43, it might not even be a 43, it's a 44-7 and a 44-3, that is, ouch.
Yeah, that's not good. It doesn't sound good sadly for the Nexus. Alcourtier and Martos to cross the line now.
That's a ticket straight to the bottom of the board. That's what that is. If we go with Alcourt to the line, it's definitely going to be quicker than the 44. I'll tell you that much. It might be a 43 low. It's a 43.4, 44.2 for Martos, but Alcourt again being the show at the moment for control of the time.
And now it's More and Gumu to finish their lap time before calling the last 3 teams of this race 3. And More to cross the line with Gumu just behind, maybe the first 43, yes, and 42.7 for Gumu, very good lap time for the Deluxe driver. His teammate is 4 tenths behind, but it's the first 42 of the evening.
Yeah, and 42.7 for Gumu, and that's going to be a problem at this point.
Yeah, and Avalon is already in the pit lane. Customs GT with Sigma and Charles just called right now and about to enter the pit lane in a few seconds. And then the 92 Esports with Moreno and Hypers being called in a few seconds right now. And we have Reese and Esteve already leaving the pit lane, doing the outlap now. And a reminder regarding the fastest qualifying lap yesterday evening set by B-Racer. It was in 42.4. He's only 3 tenths behind B-Racer, Gumu. It's a pretty solid lap time set by Gumu, and we said before the start of this qualifying session that some drivers can be annoying for the 2 big teams of this lobby, Customs GT and 92 Esports, and Gumu is the perfect example of those drivers that can pretend to a very solid result this evening. So Reese and Esteve in the middle of sector 2, Sigma and Charles now leaving the pit lane in the 4 apex corner. Hypers already leaving the pit lane. Moreno quite far behind.
Right, let's see what is going on in this for the second part of this session.
Yeah, and it's not a gap, it's more than that between Hypers and Moreno right now on track.
It's just slightly. I think, yeah, Moreno's going to get himself a nice little bit of track to himself. We know what he can do though with his session, with practice session time. So I can't say I blame him.
And Reese and Esteve starting their lap in this qualifying session. Fastest lap for our first 6 drivers set by Gumu in 42.766. And Reese and Esteve, very good turn 1 and 2.
It's interesting. So they've gone a little bit different to everyone else, where everyone else was trying to keep some form of a distance to stop the these two are literally nose to tail through the first sector.
Exactly,
so very different strategy from Avalon so far in this session. Let's see how that plays out for them. Oh, that didn't look too great on the exit from
36.7 is a 36.7 for Esteve is a very solid first sector.
Trying to get himself. He did a very good first sector, but at the same time, the exit onto out of the quadruple Rihanna did not look very clean and maybe a little bit bumpy. We'll see how that plays out for his lap in a second here.
Charles and Sigma in the end of first sector, 36.8 for Sigma.
See, they're doing the same thing at Avalon, right on the back of each other, and then 92 obviously quite heavily separated on track right now.
Yeah. Now entering the chicane for Reese and Esteve.
See what they can put up then. So we know the we know the benchmark is currently sitting at a 42.7. Let's see if any of the Avalon drivers can top that. They didn't manage to top that at all in practice sessions, so this is going to have to be a personal best for either one of them if they are going to do it. Here we go, Reese to the line, Esther as well, and it is going to be a 43.0 and a 43.5, and it is not a fastest time, and it's not particularly too well done either.
Sigma and Charles now to cross the line. Sigma ahead of his teammate Charles. Oof, very, very quick exit of the last corner. The lap time now for Sigma and Charles. Is it? No. Oh, Charles in 42.9, but Gumu still provisionally on pole. Now waiting for Hypers and Moreno. Can we have a Deluxe driver on pole in this lobby? Hypers to cross the line in a few seconds. It could be a surprise to have a Deluxe Esport drivers on pole. And Hyper to cross the line.
41, 42, 42,
Oh!
5, it's not Hyper that pulled it out the bag in the qualifying section. Is Moreno going to beat it? Moreno does beat it, 42, 3.
Oh, what a lap by Moreno! Smashing the fastest lap set by B-Racer yesterday, and it's a 1-2 for 92 Esports. Gumu will start on row number 2 in 3rd position, ahead of Charles and Reese, but what a lap set by Hypers, but even better by Moreno.
Yeah, I'm about to say, Moreno smashing out the Super Bowl time at the moment, and we knew that was going to happen. We've had a funny feeling while watching his practice session that is what he could do, and he nailed it as well in the Super Bowl qualifying. Hypers was the surprise one, because he had done nothing of that sort, nothing even close to that in the practice session, and pulled it out when he needed to pull it out, and now the session gets a lot easier from here for 92.
Oh my god, what a lap by Moreno. Absolutely astonishing, and his teammate in 2nd position, but also what a lap set by Gumu, starting 3rd on the grid. Charles P4 for Customs GT, and yeah, a lot of drivers in 43, some others in 44 as well, with sadly Nexus in the last 2 positions in this session. Control the time P8 and P10. And where is Sigma P7, Charles' teammate? Yeah, in the middle of the grid. Not the best way to start the race, because we've seen on yesterday it can be pretty tough in the midfield.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fighting in there, and everyone you can see from Gumu all the way back into the 43s for 9, like in the midfield here, where it's just going to be hammer and tongs to see who can get to the best kind of position, avoid the most fighting, and the problem is getting to that position. If you can't get it done early, it's just going to bleed the total time away as well. So, and that will obviously bleed points.
Yeah,
which is what these teams are not going to want.
And when I take a look at the results, the best results from the beginning of the season for Deluxe Motorsports, Gumu took part in round 2. He finished P7 in the 2nd race of the season on Bathurst with the Alfa Romeo 4C Group 4. Is P3 on the grid. Best results for the team was a 4th position for Deluxe Esports in round 3 on Lago Maggiore, with Toto Coco taking this P4. So yeah, it's a very, very solid result set by Gumu there. Quick look at the grid we will have for this first race of the evening. Moreno and Hypers for 92 Esports, with the lockup of the first row, P1 and P2. Gumu P3 on the grid with Charles alongside him on row number 2. Reese and More P5 and P6. Sigma and Alcourte on 7th and 8th position on the grid. P9 and P10 for Esteve and Gimartos on row number 5. And row number 6 with our 2 Nexus drivers, Cacho and Rob Cuban on 11th and 12th position. Yeah, pretty interesting now to see how Custom GT will try to gain some position over the midfield, because the 2 Customs GT drivers have Deluxe Esports drivers ahead of him.
Yeah, they're being beat man to man right now from both of the Deluxe Esports drivers as well. So it's going to become all that more difficult. The teamwork isn't going to be able to be deployed. and they now have to win their battles individually, which is a lot more difficult at this level than it would be anywhere else. So this could be one of the weeks where we see one of the top 6 get tripped up. We saw it from Owls in Austria, and it plummeted them down the grid. This could be the point where Customs suffer a similar fate.
Yeah, exactly. Race is about to start in a few minutes or seconds. 16 laps. A quick reminder regarding the tire wear and the fuel consumption. So 16 laps, 4 times for the fuel consumption, 11 times for tire wear, sports soft tires, and weak slipstream. Qualifying session is on real slipstream, but the race is on weak, which means you can still have the slipstream of the driver ahead if you are 1.5, 1.6 seconds behind him. So it's pretty easy to get the slipstream, but the closer you are, the best the slipstream is, of course. And pretty excited about this qualifying session, and the race is about to be very, very interesting. Moreno and Hypers on pole, but be careful behind. It can be it can be very surprising with Gumu on 3rd position, the Custom GT in P4 and P7, and we still have to take a look at the control the time drivers, Nexus and Avalon, of course.
Yeah, and I feel like our race here will be in the midfield, because I have a funny feeling that 92 after that qualifying session might be gone very quickly, as we are about to see the lights come on with 4, 5 red lights. It lights out and away we go. Moreno got off to a great start. Hypers is sleeping at the wheel as we got off to that one. Moreno's going to cover him off straight away as we head down towards turn 1. Charles on the outside of Gumu straight away as well. Gumu might have a look at the side of Hypers as we head through turn 2. Doesn't quite get a look, but will stay in 3rd nonetheless. Ruiz is in 5th, Sigma in 6th. Moray already being beat out by Sigma, and that is one of the highlighted battles we had saw so far as we go through turn 3, and it's going to be fought back by Moray as he gets him in a position to take 6th place back. The Avalon driver Esteve also tried to get his nose in there, but didn't really make too much of it as we go through the middle of the first lap, and there's a little bit of a gap starting to form from the top 5 backwards, and an even bigger one between 1st and 2nd. And it looks like Hyper's entire job was to just let Moreno go, as he is already 7/10 of a second up the road as we head into the hairpin.
Be careful behind.
Oh, contact again.
Oh, yeah, contact ahead, yes, and there was also Alcote on the inside of driver, and it's really close now behind Moreno with Hypers. Charles taking now 3rd position. Gumu losing maybe 2 position in this battle with those contacts. Now Gumu on the inside of Charles for being back at least in 4th position, but be careful on the exit. No, the Galaxy Sports
Ruiz going for it.
back to 3rd position.
Ruiz has gone for it. Got up to 4th. I think Charles just got dropped by multiple people there. That was an extremely costly second there for Charles when he just thought he got himself in a 3rd. Would be able to fight the 92 drivers, or potentially just drive away with the 92 drivers, and then gets caught sleeping a little bit in the final couple of corners. Ruiz gets past, Gumu gets past, and now he's fighting them all over again.
Exactly, while Moreno is already 1.4 seconds ahead all alone. Hypers, struggling to escape of the midfield now. Gumu back to 3rd position after those contacts on the hairpin. Ruiz now ahead of Charles. Moray is still ahead of the 2nd Customs GT driver Sigma, back to 7th position. Alcote for control the time, and his teammate Gimartos in P8 and P9. Esteve P10, Cacho and Rob Cluben for Nexus still at the last 2 position of this race, but it's still very close. Pretty calm start until the hairpin with some contact, but no major incident to notice.
No, not at the moment. A little bit, as you said, a little bit of contact. We headed into the hairpin the first time between Gumu and Hypers in particular, and set up a 4 or 5 car battle. But the thing is now that all that fighting has done is well, let Hyper do his job, because his job was to let Moreno get away. Moreno's got a 2-second advantage. So now it's all about how well can Hypers manage his position in second against Gumu, against Rees, against Charles, who will all be coming for him, no doubt. Gumu trying to get his way round the final couple of corners to try and close the gap on Hypers, not really doing too much damage yet.
Oh, and Sigma very close of Moray, beginning of lap 3 now, and maybe the overtake on the inside by Sigma. No overtake, but Moray is also in trouble. This allows Alcouti to be very close of the two drivers ahead of him now, and he's back maybe in the battle for the top 5.
Yeah, that just looked weird, that one between Sigma and Moray, because obviously Sigma took a look on the inside, clearly decided against it, but never really backed out of it, if that makes sense. And then Moray makes the mistake still. And Sigma had put himself in such a bad position that he couldn't actually get the move done. It was just a bit shoddy from both the drivers there, and it allowed obviously Alcourt to get involved, and these two need to find a way back onto the back of Charles. It needs to be done quickly before they get dropped.
And at the front, now 2 seconds, Moreno, the gap between him and his teammate Hypers, and Gumu, and not a chaotic start, but there was contact. He was at some point P5 at the exit of the hairpin. He managed to be back on 3rd position. Now it's more calm for him. Now the objective for him is to try to follow Hypers and to hope that Rees and Charles won't attack him for this 3rd position.
That is true, but if I'm Gumu, I don't even know if I'm in a position where I'm looking backwards. I think I might be looking at Hypers, because Hypers, he's quick, but he's vulnerable, if that makes sense. We've seen it already, that in the practice session in particular, he was not putting any special time down, and that would indicate the lack of consistency. So if Gumu can put a few laps together, he might have a run on Hypers at some point in this race, and I think that's what he should probably be looking at, rather than looking behind and seeing how much he can do for Deluxe, because they are still trying to chase for that top 12, and if you are trying to chase for that top 12, then the lap time, the overall team time is what you need to be looking at. And
be careful, Moray a bit, not the perfect for Apex corner for Moray, and Hypers with the fastest lap. This is quite a surprise. 42.8 for Hypers. I would expect to have Moreno with this fastest lap, but it's not the case.
I think that makes it slightly more impressive, the fact that Hypers currently had the fastest lap at 42.8. We know that won't stay, but Hypers had the fastest lap at the 42.8, and Moreno had gapped him by 2 seconds already. I don't know which way you want to look at that. Either that's impressive from Moreno, or it again cites the lack of consistency there from Hypers.
Yeah, that's maybe the key for Gumu for taking the 2nd position, having an Hypers not.
I think our Spanish counterparts are having a bit of a problem. A bit smart, Simons have left the room, so that's not a good sign for the Spanish counterparts. But we'll see how that plays out. Hypers has got Gumu by over a second now, so Hypers is just starting to find a little bit of a stride, and that probably means that Gumu is going to have a little bit more trouble behind than he is out front going forward.
Yeah, and with having Moreno all alone doing a very solid start, it can be very helpful also for the total race time for the team.
Yeah, they're going to have to find some pace though. If we're to talk about a total lap time, as you said earlier, the
Moreno!
Nice drift! Smoke.
Yeah, nice drift by Moreno.
He's done well to catch that, but he has
and half of the gap.
Second.
Yeah, half of the gap now is gone with this slide on the 4 Apex corner. Now the gap is only of 1 second between the two leading cars, the two teammates of 92 Esports. Gumu 1 second behind Hypers, behind him Rees and Charles not far behind in 4th and 5th position. Morey in P6, Sigma P7, Alcourte P8, Esteve 2 seconds behind the control the time driver in 9th position. Rob Cuban and G Martos P10 and P11. Mark Martos with a mistake, I think, for the second control the time driver in between the two Nexus drivers, now in 11th position.
Yeah, and I think, Nexus, we looked at those as underdogs coming in, but they are well and truly tailed off the back, and it never really got off the ground for them, has it? In this session, they're just going to have to regroup at some point in the near future and come back a little bit stronger. But Moreno's back up over a second clear of Hypers again, so that doesn't take too long. Gumu keeps getting dropped off the back of the Argentinian, so it's looking very, very good for 92 Esports right now. But as we said before, if the fastest lap, or the point where I was trying to make before everything started to get a little bit more chaotic again, is if the fastest lap for Gallo last night was a 42.4, for example, a 42.8 fastest lap is not going to cut it.
Yeah, exactly. And in front, we've seen that from Reese on board, having hyper sliding like Moreno the lap before in the 4 apex corner, and we enter in a critical part of the race, those 2 laps before entering to the pit lane with those warm tires. Look at the tire wear on
the rears. You're right. The rears are starting to fall off. That's not good news for Hyper though, because he is now going to be charged down by Gumu all over again. Yeah. After feeling like he just got clear as well, so he'd done all that work to get himself clear to drop it immediately, and has now got himself a much more difficult second half of this race after that mistake.
Exactly. End of lap 6. Oh, Charles on the chicane. Also Morey behind him, sliding in the middle of the chicane. Sigma, I think, was a bit surprised behind, and he didn't take an advantage of this. He stays in 7th position.
It's a different Sigma from what I've been seeing recently in the last couple of weeks when I've been watching the custom GT, because they've basically been stuck on every single day that I've been commentating since they joined. It's a very different Sigma. He's not looking as composed. He's not looking as deadly, if the best way of putting it. I don't know if he's used to this car.
If he stays in this position, it's his worst result of the season, with finishing P6 during round 3, P5 in last round. Is there in 7th position, and it would be the worst results for a custom GT driver since the beginning of the season, because Charles finished either 2nd, 3rd or 4th during the beginning of the championship. The other teammates, Josema, finished P4 in round 1, and Cadrinos P5 in round 2. So this 7th position is maybe while he goes in the grass before entering the hairpin. Be careful, and it's a penalty for Sigma, and now it's an opportunity for Alcourte for overtaking the Customs GT driver.
Yeah, that is a really bad time to get a penalty in the middle of this session. You're about to get into the pit window, and right now you're about to find yourself in a very, very big hole with Alcourte in front of you. And we saw in Austria, when you can get Alcourte in front, when Alcourte gets the chance to be in front of you, he does not make a lot of mistakes. And if he doesn't make a mistake here, Sigma's in trouble. Sigma will be in a lot of trouble. Within half a second already, so the actual penalty itself is more than enough to take him into 8th place. He's a little bit too far ahead of Esteve, so not going to drop out behind the Avalon driver. Looking down towards turn 1, there goes Alcourte, and he's going to get him. Alcourte going to get him. He did get him down into turn 1, and he gets himself just a nice little advantage as well. And Sigma's now going to make an overtake. He's got to get to a point here, whether or not he's fuel saving or not, where he gets himself an opportunity to get by, because he cannot be this far off of Morey in particular.
And Il Conte saying in the chat, to be fair, this is the most difficult to drive car by far in this championship, and it's maybe the most difficult combo, I think, of the World Championship.
Yeah, it looked it. You can tell the roadsters were difficult to drive on Austria, but they are very they are still technically race car. These guys, while a race car itself, it looks like it's about to roll the entire way over every time you go round a corner. So I can imagine the slide and the control of this car just does not exist. So yeah, I can imagine people taking a little bit longer to get used to or get into grips with such a very different car than what is normal.
Yeah, and Fleur
Anyway.
is to confirm also in the chat. It's a really difficult combo. Yeah, we see that from yesterday. And we
Just
see
take a
that
look at the
as-
drivers currently driving, the way they're sliding through the
Yeah.
track. It's looking difficult.
And it's pitting time now for everyone. Moreno first to enter into the pit lane. Be careful to not cross the line at the pit lane entrance, otherwise it's 3 seconds
Someone's
of
dead
penalty.
out.
Yeah, we've seen
Someone's
prediction.
dead out.
Oh, someone's. Oh, it's Alcourte trying the 9-lap
mountain
stint.
says.
Okay, this is interesting now.
Did I say it? Admittedly, I thought this would be, if you're going to do this, you'd go in on lap 7 and try the undercut to gain a couple of positions and go as long as you can. Because everyone's tired, they're going to be shot to pieces by the end of this race anyway. I'm surprised he's doing it the opposite way round, if I'm completely honest.
And Gumu in third position now, leaving the pit lane. Oh, it's
Everyone's all over the
Hypers
place.
losing few
Here comes
positions.
Charles.
Oh, and
Contact all
contact.
over the place!
Oh.
Reed gets up! It's a mess! Charles gets a bit of contact, Reed gets a bit of contact, Gumi's at the head of Vipers, who's down in the 6th! And it's a bit of a mess on pit exit there for the 4 drivers following Moreno.
And we've seen that on the replay right now. What happened on the exit? We've seen Hypers losing 3 positions, I think, with this pit stop. Moreno leaving first, and it was Reese, or the contact with Reese. Oh, and Charles also. Big contact
gotta love
with
it.
Charles
Guru.
and
Yeah.
Gumu, and Reese taking the advantage of this incident. Now in third position. Yeah, big drama, and I think this will be investigated by the stewards afterwards.
He took it, that looked a little bit of a lunge. He got a little bit of contact, definitely on that rear wheel of Gumi, so that's definitely what happened there. We'll get an extra good look at it when we go into the replay properly at the end of the race. You're going to have to make sure, remember that at the beginning of lap 9. But yeah, Moreno's gone, 1.4 seconds clear of Reed, but everything in the mid-pack and behind has now just shifted, and I wonder if that's just bleeding a lot of time off the clock for Hypers.
And be careful
And
of
for-
Gumu on the inside of Charles, maybe to be back on fourth position. No, but he's very close. He's very close of the custom GT drivers now. Alcote in the pit lane. Good job for doing 9 laps with those tires. I don't know how he did, but now he's in refueling. But the problem is the whole midfield with overtook him, and I think he will be far behind. And Hypers now in 5th position. It's not the perfect pit stop expecting for the Argentinian driver.
No, not at all. He dropped a long way back. Clearly didn't do enough on the fuel saving during the first stint. And also, this is what I was talking about when I was talking about Alcote, by the way. I was expecting it to be the opposite way round, because going 9 to start would obviously make it a lot more difficult to be able to do that on the first stint in particular. Because obviously you'll have a lot more fuel. You start with a full fuel tank, you'll get yourself in a position where doing 9 is obviously a better strategy in the second stint, which is why I posed to you at the start, potentially doing an undercut, because then you might have an idea of getting yourself up in an extra couple of seconds, gaining a position, rather than what Alcote has done here, and surrendered track position by about 4 seconds, but we'll have better tyres at the end.
Exactly. Moreno now is all alone, and Reese maybe to take the second top 2 for Avalon after having Rodri on round 3 taking this second position on Lago Maggiore. Maybe a new podium for Avalon.
Boris isn't going to like the fact that you brought that up. He's in the chat right now. He's the one he actually beat to that second place.
Yeah.
After Mumu sold him a little bit short in that one. But yeah, Marie's
It's
doing a good
very
job.
close behind the Reese. It's very close for top 2.
The problem is, an overtaking here has been few and far between. Charles it's going to open up the door just a little bit. If Gumu can get a good run, Charlton is going to have a bit of a problem defending this, because we've seen Gumu got the pace from the word go, basically. And I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw him be a little bit more aggressive in this second stint in terms of the overtakes, knowing that for Deluxe, P2 realistically can happen here.
Yeah, while we are on board with Hypers at the back of this group, battling for the second position. Moreno, I think, he's on a very good situation to finish this race first, because behind him it's gonna be the war for this second position and even for the podium, while Gumu is sliding a little at the end of the S's. Be careful to not lose the car in this section of the track. Oh, and Hypers!
Again, Hypers has been doing that the entire time, where he's just playing it a little bit hard and fast with the exit of that hairpin. We might see Gumu Charles go for this, sorry. As we go through for second place, Charles looks to the outside. Charles keeps going, gets his car a little bit alongside, but has to duck back on underneath to try and get the move done on Ruiz, but it's going to fall short. And Ruiz is going to hold on to second. Gumu might look for a move to try and fight back at Charles. After Charles' unsuccessful move forward, he has to now look behind him.
And 5 laps to go. Oh, Gumu, be careful on the outside of the final corner.
Well,
so close,
with
so
even
close.
further on the outside of the final corner. Here comes Charles again, looking to the inside. Gonna make a move this time. We've seen him try a couple of times so far. Get to the inside of Ruiz, and there is no answer to that.
And be careful of Gumu as well.
Get him, and he's got him as a whole.
What a move set by Charles. Now in second position, Ruiz dropped to P3 now, but Gumu is very close as well to, and he really wants to be on this podium. Oh, Charles.
It's a bit of a slide there from Charles, by the way.
Yeah,
That was not confident. That was not comfortable at all through the third quadruple left-hander. I'm gonna have to find a little bit more rhythm than that if he wants to hold on to P2. Don't forget the weak slipstream being enforced at this point is gonna cause him a lot of problem if he can't build any semblance of a gap, because that would just allow for Ruiz to go straight back at him, if not down at the final corner of the lap later on. It's going to be fairly interesting, because obviously Charles is going to be in trouble with Stewart probably, after what we saw with the incident at turn 1 at the exit of the pit lane. Gumu's also had a tag on Hypers as well in this race. We saw that lap 1. So if Ruiz can just keep himself in and around this, he might just get benefit by proxy at the end of all this, same for Hypers and for Mori as well, who are still fighting. Ruiz trying to hold off Gumu, trying to go a little bit of a switchback there, kicking up the gravel now for Ruiz, so that's not going to give him any sort of confidence heading through the final corner. Again, sliding his car through, Gumu sliding on the exit. Is there going to be a move on show here? Any of the drivers going to try and make something stick?
Yeah.
Charles is starting to build a little bit of a gap. Gumu goes for it.
He goes on his
Oh, contact! More contact from Gumu. And I think there's contact as well. The Hypers
and Hypers, Hypers overtook on the inside by More side by side while Sigma was really close to smash the car in the barrier.
I think
behind.
He did clip it. I think he did clip it. Hypers with More side by side as we head towards turn 3, and Hypers has got 5th place back after the contact. And I feel like we're not done yet.
No, we are not done yet. 4 laps remaining in this race, and no one can say who will finish on the podium or even in the top 5. It's still really close, and Moray attacking now Hypers for being in this top 5, while Gumu wants to be back on the podium, battling with Ruiz for the 3rd position.
Yeah, he definitely will be, and he'll get close enough sooner rather than later on this lap. The problem is that there's going to be a lot of questions hanging over some of the drivers in this race, and including Hypers, who's obviously not going to be involved in the penalty drama himself, but at the same time is having the total time for 92 Esports bleed away, because he is at 5th, he's had a bad pit stop, and he is fighting with everybody at this point in time. Moreno being out in front doesn't, well, it does matter for the overall time, but it's not going to matter as much as we think it's going to matter.
Yeah.
Also, can I just point out the fastest lap of the race? That is 3 tenths quicker than the fastest lap of yesterday.
Yeah, 3 laps remaining for the leading cars, and be careful of Reese now, very close of Charles maybe for an overtake on turn 1. Oh, be careful of Gumu! Ooh, he breaks,
Reese just got out of sorts.
Yeah. With this late break, he managed to be closer from Reese now, and even for P2, it's not done yet for Charles.
Nope, not even close. I reckon Reese is going to just bide his time. If Reese can get a nice little run in the final lap, that's when he's going to try this, because he knows that this is going to go back and forth the entire time if he goes now. So you got a little bit of the mind games starting to form in the middle of the pack here for this. 4 people fighting for the bottom 2 steps of the podium. I wonder how this is going to end.
And some interesting thing that can happen in those final laps of the race, it's Hypers having much better tires compared to the other drivers ahead. I think it's Reese with the worst tire wear in this group battling for the second position. Yeah, maybe Reese can be in trouble in the final laps of this race with those round tires compared to the other competitors around him.
Yeah, it is going to cause him a lot of issues on that final lap in particular. We're talking about him potentially going forward. If he's got the worst tyre wear, he might have to look behind him because Gumu will take a shot. We've already seen Gumu and, Hypers and everyone in this pack already take a shot or 2 trying to make an overtake in this race so far. So I have a funny feeling they're not going to be adverse to doing it again. Gumu's got a nice exit here. Gumu's got a very nice exit here. The real question is he going to have a lunge or look at the very least down into turn 1. He is going to look, but he is going to be too far away. He's almost hit the
contact with Hypers! The contact!
Did it hit him?
Yeah, it hit him. Hypers contact with Gumu, and now Gumu 1.2 seconds behind Reese and Charles. Oh yeah, maybe we will take a look at this because now and even Hypers is really close of Gumu for the 4th position, but yeah, there is a contact between Hypers and Gumu.
Yeah, it was quite the heavy hit as well. I think Hypers just had to stop himself going on through just to make sure that he didn't actually cause too much issue for Gumu himself. It has caused a little bit of a gap here now. Gumu is going to be in a very big issue in terms of trying to make a move on Ruiz or Charles because he is far off the back of them. And as a result of that bit of contact that we just saw, and now it's going to be a straight shootout between Ruiz and Charles for that podium. They're both going to make it onto it, but the question is in which order.
Yeah, and we've seen on the replay Hypers, braking maybe a bit too late, and and he provokes that contact with Gumu in turn 1. It's a 1v1 now for the second position in this race between Customs GT and Avalon, between Charles and Reese. Gumu still in 4th position, Hyper still in 5th place, but be careful of Moray just behind, and if there is any trouble in front, Sigma can maybe pretend to gain a position. He's not far behind. Final lap for the leading cars. Moreno 5 seconds ahead of Charles in 2nd position, and he's creating a gap with Reese, half of a second between P2 and P3.
Yep, Reese may have just lost his final chance of really making something happen here down into turn 1. He needs an absolute staunching lap here, but he's not going to get it. He's not going to get it because of the tyre wear, if nothing else. So he's going to have to try and force the issue. Half a second currently behind Charles, and Charles is just trying to extend that as we go through the quadruple left-hand. And this is the big point where the tyres are going to benefit Charles quite heavily. The problem is for Charles, he hasn't really made too much benefit of that quadruple right-hander because the first 2 corners went to Reese, the second 2 corners went to Charles. There's probably a bit of a stalemate there. As we go through the final half lap here, Reese is far too far back to make anything stick, and both of these two are quite the way off Moreno.
And be careful, the tires of Reese are very, very, very bad, and there is a possibility, if there is a mistakes in the chicane, that Gumu can take this 3rd position. Be careful of the tires of Reese. Final back straight of this race. Moreno entering in the chicane for the final time of this race and taking a very, very solid win. Pole position, win, and fastest lap in this race. 1:42.1 for the fastest lap set by Moreno. Charles to finish in second position. Chicane went nice for everyone, I think, and everyone will keep their position until the end. Moreno taking the win in this third race of the round 5.
Charles coming over to get in the second place, holds off Ruiz in the end, who gets the third place. Gumu holds off Hypers for fourth. Murray got 6th, Sigma gets 7th. Alcorte made his strategy the wrong way round, if I'm completely honest with you. Trying to go long in the first stint. Esteve gets 9th. He was fairly tailed off from the control, the time driver in the end. Nexus has not really done much of anything at all in this round either, as much as we've seen the rest of the season. Cacho currently in 10th. They've both beaten Martos, but that's not too heavy for them in this one. They're going to get 10th and 11th. Cacho 24 seconds off the back of the last Avalon driver just puts it into real perspective of how bad the race has gone for the Nexus driver. It's not even worse. If you're Martos, a further 14 seconds back in a minute off the lead. There's, I really think he's going to have to go back to the drawing board here, Martos.
What a race, what a first race, very, very entertaining. There will be some incident to be investigated, of course, but what a win for Samuel Moreno after what happened in the previous round on the Red Bull Ring. Good job, Samuel, with this amazing win. The results, the provisional results of this race, with Moreno taking the win ahead of Charles for Customs GT and Reese on third position. Gumu in fourth position. Hypers finished P5. More P6. Sigma P7. Alcourte on 8th position. Esteve and Cacho in the top 10. Rob Cuban P11 and Martos in 12th position in this race. Provisional results of course, and Parivo, you can tell me whenever you're ready for the replay of this first race to watch or rewatch what happened in this race.
Yeah, just loading it up now because it took about 5 years to actually get into exit the actual lobby. We do have the actual thing up now if you wish to join in.
I'm joining the screen share right now. Okay, I'm on it. I am on it. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. So the first bit that we saw, obviously turn 1 was actually probably one of the calmer turn 1s that we saw during this season so far, especially the one that I've watched. We go down to the first hairpin here. So it's a little bit before this actually. And I want to watch with Hypers, and we're going to go on to actually on Gumu's camera angle here because we want to see what realistically caused everything that happened here. As we went into the hairpin, Gumu, I think he just half saw a gap there, just got a little bit of a run. Yeah, he got the double contact on Moreno, on Hyper's car. Sorry, there's the Argentinian flag, not the Spanish. And yeah, then it caused obviously Charles. That was Charles going up the inside, and Ruiz there as well. We continue on to watch the end of this the first lap here with Gumo on the outside. Charles was looking to that inside, trying to hold on, and there was more contact in the end between the two of them, but Charles a little bit too shallow potentially on the exit of that chicane to really make anything happen. That's why we saw Ruiz go on through, almost losing his car the way through actually on the exit of the final lap.
Yeah,
the final corner of the first lap rather. The second thing I have highlighted is the pit entry. Pit exit rather. What, lap 9?
Start of lap 9, yeah, exactly.
So we reckon almost.
Not bad. More precise than Jomas yesterday.
See, Jomas, if you're watching, I don't know if I'd stand for that.
No, I'm joking because he did one replay like this and he just went on the perfect timing. Contact everywhere.
This is going to be interesting. We'll go on board here with Reeds. I think is probably the best way of going.
I think some cars were also ghosting. I think at the end of the pit lane.
It looked like it, didn't it? It got there's
Oh yeah, definitely
There's-
ghosting. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and it ghosted through him. Okay, there's still 3 or 4 cars ghosting in this situation.
Oh please. Oh,
Almost
thank
all
you,
the
Gran
contact
Turismo
there.
7 for this.
It almost looked like he ghosted into him. It was
Yeah.
almost like it couldn't decide whether or not he wanted to be ghosted or not. I would like to point out how lucky Ruiz is in that situation, because he somehow managed to go through both of them to avoiding contact, despite ghosting very clearly being ended between the 2 cars in front of him. So he got away with one there, if we're completely honest with you.
Yeah.
Which is fairly interesting. I don't understand why GT does that sometimes, where they get where ghosting ends. Because we saw it in Lego as well, where Floris and Mumu actually cooperated, and the ghosting, we all thought that day should have absolutely destroyed Floris. But they got away with that. So it's more trying to figure out where that ghosting kind of falls. We go through, we're on lap 12 here. Go through here onto the end of lap beginning
Yeah,
of lap
13, I think, yeah.
is the next set of rolls. Here we go. I think
It's Hypers. Yeah,
forward.
it's right there.
Oh, it's right here. This is going to be a perfect camera angle of it. Oh, he just drives straight through him.
Yeah.
A little bit there.
Oh!
Just add to it as well. I forgot there was double contact from the deluxe driver than this one. Let's have a second look at this one, especially from... He has come from a long way back, by the way.
Yeah.
This is obviously the look from the incident as well from Gumu on Ruiz. Yeah, he's come from a gigantic way back there. Has Moray to get a little bit of contact on Hyper's car. I am fairly surprised he attempted that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seemed a little bit audacious at best, if we're being completely honest with you. It looked like Hyper's obviously just kind of making sure his car was back in front. A little bit of a squeeze there onto turn 3. I think that was it between the cars on this lap. Obviously, we had the 3 of them fighting out front, and then we can go to...
Lap 14, there is also the contact between Hypers and Gumu. It was lap 14? I think it was lap 14 or 15.
I thought it was 15. Yeah, it was 15.
It was 15. Yeah, my bad.
No, you're good. Don't worry. Also, let's keep an eye on whether or not we're getting called back into the lobby at some point for this next one. We're already through 15. I have forgotten where we're at. Never a good start, is it? Right, here we go. So this is almost a carbon car. Oh, never mind. No, it's not.
No.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Okay, let's get a second look at this then.
Is there a contact between Moray and Hypers that maybe can help this incident? I don't know if there is a contact between Moray is...
Moray is a long way
he's
back.
too far behind. Yeah, okay. I thought
No,
it
he
was
just got the
closer.
braking so many levels wrong.
Yeah.
I'm
And-
surprised that Gumu's kept his car, to be completely honest there.
Yeah.
That's one of those. You go off the edge of that track there at turn 1, you should be dead, realistically. If we're completely honest. I don't really see how... I mean, fair play to Gumu to keep that alive, and you can see the tyres are not particularly happy with him as a result of it sliding his way through the quadruple right-hander, and Hypers forgets there actually is a turn there. But yeah, that was contact. That came from a long way back, if we're being completely honest.
Yeah.
That's everything, I think.
And I think it's all good for this race, unless there was something on last lap, but I don't remember there was something. Yeah, last lap was quite calm. I think we're good, and all the results are already saved, so we can take a look. Yeah, perfect timing. Take a look at the actual standings after 3 races out of 4 and 92 esports P3 overall. I think because of Hyper's total race time, because Moreno smashed the race time of a racer by more than 3 seconds. But yeah, Hypers with this 28 minutes 11 seconds put 92 esports in 3rd position, 3/10 tenths of a second behind Vanquish Esports on total race time. It's absolutely nothing. Customs GTP4, Deluxe Esports with a overall P6, not bad at all for Deluxe Esports. Avalon Motorsports P8, and in the second part of the rankings, we have Control the Time in P15, and Nexus, yes, in 17th position. And I forgot about I think Avalon. It's Avalon P8, 92, P3, Deluxe P6, and which with it's Control the Time, I forgot.
Control the Time.
Control the Time P15, yeah. And
Nexus 17 as
Nexus
well.
17,
It's not
yeah.
particularly the greatest the greatest race they've ever seen. If we're honest.
Exactly. And it's almost time for
Next
qualifying.
lobbies.
For next lobby. So time right now to have the presentation video of Finlay before being back for the qualifying session of the last race of this round 5.
It's the final race of the evening, folks, and the final race of round 5 of the 2026 InfinityGSeries at Dragon Trail Gardens. And this race features 2 championship contending teams, although one that's taken a massive nosedive in recent weeks. We'll get to that. But first we start with Team Monza Racing, comfortably the worst of the top seeded teams this season. They're the top seeds in their group. But they were predicted to suffer slightly. They lost some pretty key drivers, Marco Bisnelli and Giorgio Mangano, who you'll know if you watch the Gran Turismo World Series. Both left their team at the end of last season, meaning their 2 star drivers were gone essentially. But still, they were expected to be nowhere near their current position, which is P17 in the championship out of 24, with a 9th and 10th finish last time out at the Red Bull Ring, comfortably ahead of the 2 Avitada cars, but still nowhere near the AGT and My Team runners. A 12-point hole, still not their worst finish for the season. They only picked up an iron at Lake Maggiore the round before that, and they now find themselves in a dogfight to even nick a silver rocket spot, which would have seemed inconceivable at the start of the season. There were some good signs at the start of the season, particularly from Simo, who had a podium at Deep Forest Raceway and took the fastest lap in both of the opening 2 races of the season, and that sort of form needs to return now if Team Monza Racing have any chance of making it out of the bronze tier post-Barcelona. Now, the top team in this group are actually the second seed, a team that had to come through the pre-qualifier, Visceral Esports, second seed in the group, I should say, not the second seed overall. That honour goes to your championship leaders, Vanquish Esports. And Visceral, very fast Canadian team, home to a very small but mighty stable in Gran Turismo, although they do span into other games like LMU and Assetto Corsa. And that team that they do have in Gran Turismo features GTWS drivers and Mach 25 stalwarts alike. They've come over to Mach 25, made their debuts in the biggest series in EMEA, and they're already challenging for the title as expected pre-season. They've been in the 30s in terms of their points haul the last 3 rounds, and 34 points came at the Red Bull Ring through a race win for Ignazio Lagadas, and it would have been a 1-2 and bumper points for the team. But Jaime Marti picked up 2 seconds and dropped back to P5 as a result of the bunched up field, which also meant the team missed out on the clean race bonus. But they are still in a really good position, P4 in the championship, 20 points clear of the drop zone into the Silver Rockets, and there's still 3 races left, but they are one of the teams you would expect to see in the top 6 come playoff action at the end of the regular season. One of the teams we certainly won't be expecting to see in the top 6 come season end is Avitada Racing Team. It's been a debut season to forget for them. They're only 23rd out of 24 in the championship, and they're not bottom by virtue of the fact that Joker's E-Team didn't run Lego Maggiore and thus scored no points whatsoever. Their best haul of the season has been 10 points at that same race in the 3rd round, but they only picked up 6 2 weeks ago at the Red Bull Ring, with Weiwei and Galakoitz finishing bottom 2 of their split. They did pick up the clean race bonus and an extra point for 22nd in the aggregate timings list. They're pretty much confirmed to be in the Bronze Rockets for playoffs. They're not mathematically out of it, because no team is mathematically out of it, because it's not inconceivable that any team scores 48 points the final 3 rounds and pushes themselves into golden action. So it's very difficult to tell who's out of it, really. But you'd think Avitada, one of their teams, they'll be very impressed if you got to see them even in the Silver Rocket spot at all. They're pretty much racing for pride at this point, and they have a very difficult split tonight, which features Owls Esports, a major fall off for them, part by luck and part by ill discipline. They were well clear after 2 rounds at the top of the championship, but they only picked up 11 points at Lake Maggiore as a result of penalties for both drivers, dropping them down to P8 and 10 out of 10 because Jokers didn't run, as I say, in that split. And things went from bad to worse at the Red Bull Ring, with Jose Art disconnecting from the lobby, running P3 with 3 laps left, and the sole running car left for them was the Bhutan, who did win the race at the opening race of the season at Deep Forest Raceway, but he only came home P7, meaning Jose finished 2 minutes behind the winner by default. That's the rule they have. If you disconnect, your finishing time is 2 minutes behind the race winner. And so the team were bottom of the aggregate timing standings, where a lot of points are made up, so they only picked up 8 points from the round, the majority of that coming from the Bhutan's P7 finish. And so they've gone from championship lead at the end of round 2 to P10 at the end of round 4. They can still qualify for the Golden Rockets. They do have a very quick driver lineup, but they need to get back on the saddle tonight, otherwise they risk falling further back, and then it's too little too late for them. One of the teams that is way too little too late for is Joker's E-Team. One of only 12 pre-qualified teams coming to start of the season, made the finals of GT Pool P, our flagship in-person event last October. They currently sit bottom of the team's championship. They didn't run at all Lake Maggiore after they made a massive mistake fitting prohibited parts to their car which weren't allowed to be raced with, so they couldn't enter the track. There wasn't enough time for them to change the settings on the car, and so they weren't able to run at all. They returned to the Red Bull Ring. Could this be the race where they finally showed their true pace of their pre-qualifying the fact they're pre-qualified in the first place? Could they show that? No, they only scored 7 points. They were the bottom 2 cars on the road. They were only promoted to P10 and P11 after Jose Art's disconnection, and they're now 4 points behind teams like EPLF and Avitada. They'll definitely be racing Bronze Rockets for playoffs. They have an opportunity tonight with struggling teams like Monza and Avitada in their split to showcase their true pace, but as I say, far too little too late for them, and they've undoubtedly been the disappointment of the season. Alexion Racing Team are another team that have sort of performed below expectations this season, not to the extent of Jokers, but given they narrowly missed out on the Pool P finals last season, you expect them to be a bit higher up than they are. They still had to come through the pre-qualifier. They did that to their credit. They had a slow start to the season. The only real sign of race pace in terms of going for the win was Alex at Mount Panorama. Had a fantastic 4-car battle for the win with him, Gunza, who eventually won the race for Owls, and then the 292 cars. But they finally got their first 30-plus round 2 weeks ago. Alex taking the team's first podium of the season, and Christian P4 in his first run of the season. That's propelled them into a silver rocket spot now, and they'll look to keep the momentum going tonight to consolidate that spot. That's your final race of the evening, your final race of the round. I will see you next week for another preview, and then at long last, I'll be back in the commentary box for the round after that. The final round before the playoffs at Barcelona, but I will see you next week for Le Mans. Goodbye for now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this video, Finlay. And you've missed nothing, just the start of the outlap of our first team, Joker's team, called in this qualifying session with Javilton and Xenio. Avutarda racing team with Gallicoit and Perry just entered into the pit lane. Third team to be called is Team Monza Racing with Garasa and Hayabusa. And for the last 3 teams in this qualifying session, for Annexion, it's Alex and Mayix. Visceral Esports with Ligadas and Jaime Marti. And for Halls Esports, Gunza and by Jim will drive for the Halls Esports. So yeah, it's now or never for Halls Esports after 2 not so good last rounds for them. It's time for Sports to gain some very important points if they want to stay in the battle for the top 6.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and every round here is just as crucial as the next, because obviously the longer we go into the year, the less you've got to fix any issues, and well, just so happened they have to stumble across probably the hardest combo we have in the entire season to do it. At that point you have kind of dug yourself a little bit of a hole, so let's see if they can get them out of it.
Yeah, and we also have teams that want to stay in the battle for the top 6 with Visceral Esports, and some teams who want to be at least in the top 12. It's the case for Team Monza Racing, for also Annexions just 12 in the standings. So those teams will need points if they want to be in a good position before the final races, before the playoffs. And it's lap started for Hamilton.
That's not good. Gino's lap time has just taken a massive plummet. He's all the way on the outside of turn 1. That's going to make sure that he's not going to be looking in a good place here.
Yeah.
It was not a good first turn. It usually doesn't set you up very well. Let's see what Javi's looking at.
37 first sector for Javilton, not that good. And for Xenio, it's even worse. In 38.3.
Yeah, back to the grid.
Oh, Gallico, it's in the 4 apex top corner. Oh, in the red part, he almost lost his car, Gallicoit, and he will lose some precious tenths of a second at the end of this first sector. 37.0 for Gallicoit. Gallicoit, Perry in just behind him now, while lap has started for Garasa and Hayabusa very close each other for the start of this lap.
Yeah, we're about to get our first benchmark time. I don't know if it's going to be a particularly impressive time because he looks all over the place, to be honest with you. This Hamilton at this point in time. Gino, we obviously covered at the beginning of his lap, made a massive critical error in his one shot, so he's not really going to do too much damage either. I can't imagine this being too competitive. Here we go, 41, 42. It's not going to be better than the 44.
Ooh,
it's just about in a 44 with Gino. It's going to lock in a 45 potentially. This is going to be disastrous.
And Xenio to cross the line, 40. Oh, it's the 45.
Is it going to be a
46. Oh,
ouch.
Yeah, that's not good at all. Not good at all for Xenio in 46. Gallicoit to cross the line now. Oh, and I think Perry lost also some few tenths. And I think it's also a 44.0 for Gallicoit. Perry in 45.3. In this qualifying time. That's not good at all also for Avutada Racing Team. Garasa and Hayabusa to exit the final, the chicane, and to enter in the last corner of this racetrack.
If it didn't need to be any more evident why those two teams are toward the bottom of the grid, I think that's the perfect capitulation of the season. Here we go, Hayabusa and Garasa to the line, 43.2 and a 43.3. It's okay given what the rest of the lobby has currently done. They may have to fight. Well, I don't think it's going to stick. I don't think that's going to stick in terms of being a quicker time. To be honest with you. No.
And Addictions just being called. Maix and Alex in the pit lane already. All C-Sport with Gunza and by Jim. They need it. It's the perfect thing that can happen to all C-Sport. Having those not very good lap time. Well, Hayabusa in 43.2 is pretty decent, but it's, I think, by far the slowest first pass of qualifying session we've seen from the start of this round 5.
Yeah, and well, we saw in the last round where Deluxe pulled off a 42.7, so they're just casually half a second slower, and that will bode well for Owls, because obviously the last time they had it in Austria, they laid an egg, realistically, after the disconnect. So they have got to get it back straight away. They've got to get it back, and they've got to do it as quickly as possible, and this is the best opportunity they're going to get in what is seemingly a lobby where half the drivers should not really be a threat to them.
Yeah, and Visceral Sports, last team to be called in the pit lane, while Annexion is already in the beginning of Sector 2, now with Maix ahead of his teammate Alex for this. I love the livery. It looks so cool on this car. This grey and some orange part on the car. It looks very, very cool. Really like the Annexion livery.
Oh yeah, it does. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, quite simple but very effective.
That one. Yeah, very. It's very effective, and you can see some of the other ones. I actually really like the Aventura one, if I'm completely honest with you.
It was.
Yeah, I think it's pretty nice with a matte finish instead of just the glossy one we see on most of the cars in the series. But either way, just about to start the flying lap with an X in here. So
Yeah.
got the delivery top down for a couple of seconds to see what it's going to be on the board here from what is supposed to be the 3 faster teams in the lobby nonetheless.
Yeah, having a
Let's see
good
what-
car is a thing, but being quick on track is another thing. And Mayix now and Alex entering into turn 1 and 2. Pretty quick for both Annexion drivers. And it's gonna start
The
as
line?
well for the all C-Sport drivers with Gunza and Baijim.
The lines were interesting there because you could see that Alex was looking for 1 in, 1 out, essentially just kind of U-shaping that corner, where Mike's very much V-lined it, where he got in very quickly, got in and prioritised the exit. So this is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
0.2 of a second up on purple for right now for Alex, is the car I'm currently looking at. So it's all going positive to start with for Nexian, at the very least.
Yeah, and the first sector for Manix wasn't bad at all, 36.7 if I remember correctly. So not bad at all to be maybe in the lap time of Hayabusa and Garassa, leading from now the qualifying session, the 2 Italian drivers of Team Monza Racing. And it's purple for Alex in the end of sector 2, maybe an action to take the provisional pole, waiting for the All C-Sport and Visceral eSport drivers.
It didn't look too clean there for Mike's on the way out of the chicane. That to send the car almost bounced around the exit of that final chicane. So I think if they're going to get something here, I reckon it's probably going to be Alex more than it'll be Mike's. It's going to the line now. 38, 39, 40 for Alex, 41, 42, 42, 8. And it's 4/10 of a second clear.
Yeah, very nice lap time set by Alex, 42.8. Now Gunza to arrive in the last corner. Is it possible to have an All C-Sport drivers on pole in this qualifying session? Is it possible for Gunza or for Baijim to take the provisional pole? The lap time of Gunza in 42.0. Oh, by 5,000 of a second! He did it! And now Baijim third in this qualifying session, now waiting for the last 2 drivers.
Penalty for Marty.
Oh, Marty with a penalty, and now everything is in the end of Ligadas for taking the pole in this qualifying session for Visceral eSport. What a time set by Gunza, 5,000th of a second ahead of Alex.
It's a good time, but the problem is the fastest car on track is well and truly that is one of Visceral eSport going into the week. Is he going to make good on that promise? It looks like Marty just served his penalty ahead. It's a 0.31 and a 0.27 for Legatus, and it is good on that promise, as that is Visceral on pole.
Yeah, Visceral on pole, and Jaime Marti, despite the penalty, 5th on the grid, 1/10 behind Baijim. Not so bad with this penalty for the second Visceral eSports drivers. And in the middle of this group of Visceral and All drivers, we have Alex in 3rd position on the grid. Behind those Spanish drivers, we have the 2 Team Monza Racing drivers, with Hayabusa ahead of his teammate Garazza in 6th and 7th position. Mayix, the second Annexion driver, is in 8th position on the grid. Gallicoit for Avutada P9, Jamilton for Joker's team in 10th position, Perry the second Avutada driver in 11th position, and sadly Xinio in 1:46, 3.4 seconds behind the pole sitter, will start on last position on the grid. And it's after 2 difficult rounds for All C-Sports. Yeah, it's pretty cool to have them on the 2 first row of the grid, P2 Gunza and Baijim P4.
This is going to be interesting. This is a considerably slower lobby,
Yeah.
I think, than the one we just witnessed prior. And that will not benefit any of these teams, quite frankly, if they're going to try and chase down the likes of Vanquish, the likes of 92, and Simfreen, that obviously had the great race yesterday with Gallo. But they also need to still push realistically here, because they, especially Owls, given the fact that they botched 2 weeks ago, they need to get themselves in a position where they aren't going. Well, they have to recover some points here, and this is a good position to do it. Visceral either side of them, but Visceral are going to be the only team that realistically fight them at all.
Yeah, it's a good thing to be P2 and P4 on the grid, but this doesn't award points. There is a 16 laps race coming for everyone, and we've seen from yesterday evening and also in the first race of this evening that anything can happen. A small mistake can cost a lot to the drivers. And like we said, and like you said in the chat, it's maybe one of the most difficult combo of this championship. So anything can happen.
It's easily one of the most difficult curves. You can see it. It's visibly hard to drive on this track and everything at the moment.
Yeah.
The car, and it's great. I absolutely love seeing this track put to a good use. I love seeing people that know a lot more about racing than we do be able to knock out a lap or two.
So, qualifying session is about to end, I think, in few seconds. Just waiting for the drivers to cross the line to end this session. Fastest lap in this qualifying session by Ligadas in 42.7, but it's not the fastest qualifying lap we've seen because we had Moreno in 42.3 in the previous qualifying session. What was the fastest lap set by Moreno in the previous race? I think it was the fastest lap overall.
42.1. Yes, 42.1.
Okay.
Yeah. 42.178, I think it was, if I remember correctly. Either way, 3/10 quicker than the following fastest lap in any of the races that we've seen. So he very clearly had vengeance on his mind. Well, I don't know if it was vengeance or whether or not it was a kind of just recovery from from Austria. But either way, he well and truly hit the mark. So, you know, he came and did his business, and I don't think there's going to be anybody in this section.
And I think I will remember a long time watching the replay of this race in Austria and just having Jens saying at the beginning of the final lap, "Oh, time flies when we are having fun," and drivers be like, "Hold my beer."
Bang! Just straight up into the side of each other. Obviously, for those that aren't aware, the third race in Austria a couple of weeks ago was something. The final, it ended with Moreno doing the biggest U-turn I've ever seen at turn 9. Literally just gets hit off at turn 9 and just doesn't stop, keeps it flawed and tries to come through turn 10, gets clobbered in the process because he re-entered the track like a psychopath.
But yeah, that was absolutely insane. Well, qualifying results for race number 4. Ligadas on pole, alongside him on row number 1. Gunza for All C Sport. Alex in third position with a very, very solid lap time. Only 0.05 of a second behind Gunza. Is in third on the grid with Baijim on row number 2 on this grid. Jaime Mati with a penalty took in his lap time is 5th on the grid with Hayabusa, the first Team Monza Racing driver, on row number 3. Row number 4 with Garassa, the second TMR driver, and the second Annexion driver, Maix, on 8th position at the back of the grid. Gallicoit and Ravilton will be on row number 5 in 9th and 10th position. And last row of the grid with Perry and Xinio in 11th and 12th position. And race is about to start. Perfect.
I'd say that preview just ended right at the perfect time. We're about to go straight in the lights out.
I don't know how I do that, to be honest.
Hey, a lot of practice, I reckon, is probably the correct answer to that question.
Well, okay.
I want to be looking
all
inside the grid. Inside I hit the button one too many times trying to get onto the grid because a really nice camera angle of the car, of the driver itself. Here we go. 3, 4, 5 red lights. It lights out and away we go. And it's a better start for the Gardens than it is Gunza, who just gets off to try and cover off Alex straight away. And the cheap dap, Jim, looking to the outside, out of turn 1, trying to make a move up a place already. Can he get it done? He in the head, but he'd also made collision with his own teammate. It's going to allow for Alex to get a little bit of a run, but it also allows for Jim to get a little bit of a run somehow, and they go down towards turn 3, and Jim has finally got that move done. And that looked very improbable on the exit of turn 2.
Yeah, very good start by Jim, now in 3rd position, just behind his teammate Gunza. Ray Marty still in 5th position, and 1 position lost for Alex at the back of the midfield. Oh, we have a driver with an issue. It's Ravilton already with a damage at the rear of his car in last position, already 5 seconds behind his teammate Zinho in 11th position.
Yeah, it's not good news for Jokers, and that just continues to pile on the misery of their really poor season up to this point. Marty looking to have a little bit of a go at Alex here. Alex gets a nice little run on the inside of by Jim, just staying enough in front to keep 3rd place, and Aldo will take this considering they got rid of potentially the biggest obstacle in front of them to their lap time, and now they have the teamwork, because if we're completely honest with you, Lagarda's driving away wouldn't be too surprising in this situation.
Exactly. Meanwhile, at the back of the midfield, it's also battling with Maix and Garazza fighting for 7th position. Maix on the inside of Garazza, a wide open door on the inside of last corner for Maix. Now in 7th position, but he has to manage now to defend his position against the Italian driver.
That's an exit here for Alex, and here we go. By Jim having to move to the inside to defend his own place. By Jim managed to do it. Oh, a split second managed to do it. Look at that underneath. Look at that move from Alex. It's absolutely sublime. The switch underneath, and that is how you overtake a tracker trail. Right in the picture right there.
Very, very clinical move set by Alex. Now back to 3rd position where he was at the start of this race. Be careful also of Raime Marti and Hayabusa just behind Alex and by Jim battling for the 3rd position. Ligadas all alone leading the race now, and Gudza is not he's not
putting pressure on.
Yeah,
not putting
exactly.
pressure on to the slightest. We said this, where it's going to be, if you can get out in front and you can avoid the fighting, you can pull a gap. It's what Moreno did at the start of the last race. Oh, there's contact! Jim and Marty's got a half-second penalty. I'm not entirely sure what's happened in regard to that. That looks a little bit all over the place. And I think Habiassa's get the one
track limit at the end of the assist section for him. Oh, and it was I think Hayabusa on the inside with this contact with the Visceral Esport driver, and Hayabusa now in 4th position, but he collided with the Visceral driver.
So we'll get another proper look at that later on then when we go through the replay at the end of the race. Habiassa, even with the contact.
Oh, and Jaime Marti in the grass at the exit of last corner, but he managed to stay alive, and the penalty served. Galicoitz overtook the Spanish driver, and he is now in 7th position.
Yep, that's good news for Aventura Tardet's racing team there, getting themselves up into almost the top half of the grid. Maix is the next car in line for them to fully achieve that situation. Garassa, he'll be the next one on Marti, but Marti now needs to find his way back for Visceral as he's dropped to 8th, and this is what we were pointing out with Hypers earlier on, that if you drop back, the fighting you're going to have to do in this midfield is going to bleed the time, and at the end of the day, that's what's cost 92 a lead of this round of the whole team time wise, and it's going to do the same thing to Visceral here.
Exactly. While we rewatched the replay of the incident with Hayabusa, because Baijim also lost a position in the incident, because when Hayabusa collided with the Visceral drivers, Baijim was right on the outside on the left, and he also had a contact with the 2 drivers, and now Baijim dropped to P5. Hayabusa now in 4th position, and Alex in a good situation now in 3rd position, now chasing Gunza. Look at the cars bouncing on the chicane with Gunza. I think for a moment he was about to fly, Gunza.
Let's say, get some air time.
A nicer time for Gunza, and Alex just behind the old drivers now in second and third position. Ligadas all alone, almost 2 seconds ahead the cars behind him.
Jim's going on Habiasa. Here we go.
Yeah,
Is it going to be a move to the inside? Jim winds it up. Jim, unless he gets switched back to underneath, will not
he
actually
can't
get overtaken back. So he's going to take 4th off the Italian, and that'll be a nice little move there by Jim to recover some of the damage done through the contact on lap 2 here.
Yeah, and now Hayabusa dropped to P5. Maix just behind P6 in the midfield. Jaime Marti still in 7th position with behind him Galikoitz and Garasa in 8th and 9th position. Perry for Avutarda is in 10th position. And the Jokers team drivers, Xinio and Ravilton, in the last 2 positions in this race. And no, I thought Alex was closer than that with Gunza to try an attempt to take the 2nd position, but be careful on the exit for Gunza, because now Alex is very close and maybe can try something on the chicane.
Yeah, that is the case. Marty's up in the 7th again as he tries to recover his race from everything that happened in that chicane on lap 2. Lagardas has a 2-second advantage. Gunza is going to have a real problem here with the Anexian driver right up on the back of him. All it takes, we've seen it already in this race a couple of times down the turn 1, all it takes is one good exit out the final corner where he gets a better run than Gunza. Gunza's going to be in a lot of trouble, and I think we may have just got it. Here we go, down towards turn 1. If he's going to go for this, Alex, he's going to have a good opportunity to do it right now. He's going to look at it, or is he going to look at it? No, he doesn't even take a look. That's fairly surprising. I am fairly shocked they didn't at least try to take a look at Gunza down towards turn 1 with the extra run.
Yeah, he's pretty safe, Alex, right there. He didn't attempt anything on Gunza, but he was very close. And there was a possibility to try something on Gunza, but he preferred to wait, to be patient. Oh, maybe now on the 4 apex corner, but he's still very close. But he seems to be, maybe he's saving fuel now behind Gunza with the slipstream. This is also a possibility.
That is very true. We did see the how it affected the first race of the night.
Oh yeah, he has much more fuel than Gunza now, Alex. I think he's saving fuel maybe to try an overtake during the pit stop.
Yeah, it looks like Alex is currently has a very similar fuel level to that of Lagardas out in front. So he won't gain to the front, but he will gain on Gunza, which is going to be very interesting to see how the Owls driver is going to deal with that, because now it's the case that he needs a gap. Well, as we watch the cars proceed to get more airtime. Double entendre.
Oh, Alex!
Oh, get into the wall!
Oh, the mistake for Alex! Oh, maybe the spin, no! And be careful behind with Hayabusa and also Jaime Marti, who lost his car. So much trouble happened in the chicane lap 5.
That was all over the place, Dan. I don't know if you can get a good replay of that. I'm going to put it down so we can watch it properly later on. That was a little bit of a mess. Gunza was in the wall, lost it under his own volition there. There's a bit of contact from the couple of us.
Oh, and we've lost Gunza as well. Gunza dropped to P7. There was also a mistake. Oh, and Jaime Marti very close to also smash the car on the barriers. Oh, so much to rewatch during the replay.
I'm about to say, I supported Gunza originally as he went off, because he went off in my line of vision. Because I was watching the car get some airtime. I was about to make a... Oh, it got up again.
Oh my god,
Gunza's up again, and now he's fighting Gali on the way through. Almost hit on the inside. The Deers all over the place right now. It is so much worse. And Gali almost loses it on the exit of the corner as well. So much worse for Owl to this race so far. Martin got yet another half-second penalty. He's somehow the only person to find a penalty so far I've seen at Dragon Trail, which is, I feel like, quite funny at the same time. But all of that has given Lagadas an almost 4-second advantage.
Oh yeah, he's all alone now, Ligadas.
He is
I'm
gone.
not sure if he knows what happened behind him because it's a mess. Behind the leading car, Jim still in second position. Hayabusa now in third place. Alex P4, and yeah, we've lost Gunza now in 8th position. Garazza P7, and Jaime Marti to serve another penalty of 1 second. He took another one, I think. He took, I think,
Where
2.
do you find the extra half-second penalty?
I don't know. I don't know, but I think there is a possibility of having Garazza now in the slipstream of Jaime Marti.
He's a little bit too far back, I think. Yeah, a little bit too far back for any sort of move, and he's going to have to do something special to really put any pressure on Marty now. After the penalty, Marty's going to have to try and make his way back to Mayix. That's the bigger issue in this situation, because this will have had the penalty 1.5 seconds bled off for penalty. Oh, he's had it all grass and base, barely catching the car again. He is sliding all the way through the quadruple left-hand turn. It is, and it wasn't confidence inspiring at all. And it's going to allow Gunza right back into the fight for P7.
And also be careful of Hayabusa in third position, because Alex is very close. Maybe the move on the inside in Garpin. For Alex, he goes for it, Be careful on the exit of the corner, the contact between the two drivers. But Alex in the end is now ahead of the TMR driver.
Yeah, he is. Alex gets a good run of that, makes contact in a little bit of a squeeze there on Hayabusa, I think. The Italian driver might be a little aggrieved with that as we get more airtime with a couple of drivers. The Nexian drivers, by the way, who are now 3rd and 5th, who are honestly the biggest winners of the absolute chicanery going on in the middle of the field. They don't care. They've moved up multiple positions apiece, and they're in a very good position to steal some points. So they're going to look at all this. Also, I would like to bring up the point that Marty is back already.
Yeah, he's already back. Penalties are served now for him, and his next target is Mayix in 5th position. We have the 2 annexion drivers in the top 5 right now with all those drama in the chicane, while behind between Garazza and Gunza, they are side by side before entering in the 4 apex corner.
Yeah, and if I was Gunza, I want this move done before we hit the quadruple left-hander, because Garazza has not had a fun time. They're already too wide on the entry into the quadruple left-hander there with Garazza, and Gunza is Garazza to the wall! Garazza to the wall!
Yeah, he's
again. He's round fully. He's round. He couldn't keep it together. He's hit both the walls now. The rear tire, they're not his friend.
And be careful of the rejoin for Garazza, because there are some drivers coming behind him. Perry overtook the Italian driver, and Garazza lost his car and now dropped to P9, P10.
Don't forget it, got to get his car back into a rhythm now. Dirty tyres not going to be his threat the entire way down. That means Javi's going to have a real good go at this. To the inside of the hairpin. Switchback opportunity not available. And Javi will have the position for a split second, because Garazza has got a good exit. It's going to fight this back straight away. Gets a little bit of a squeeze. It leads to let Javi know that he is there. And they head toward the chicane. They've got to wheel in. And they go into the chicane now. Garazza will be allowed the room. Javi's going to get a nice exit on the first part of the chicane, and the second part of the chicane will be nice for him as well. But a switch back for Garazza, and it looks like he's going to steal it back. It looked all done and dusted for Javi, but Garazza nicely steals it straight back. Off the switchback attempt, they head right back into the pits. Is that a good time to make that move or not? And we got Javi got more fuel in him as well. Potentially a much needed move for Garazza there.
And Ligadas already leaving the pit lane. Now everyone in the pit lane, end of lap 8. Ligadas 2.2 seconds ahead of Jim. Jaime Marti, nice pit stop for the Visceral drivers, now up to 3rd position. And Hayabusa with 3 seconds of penalty for cutting the pit lane line entrance. And that's a good news for Mayix. He will have no difficulty to be back in 5th position.
It's good news if you're Gunza as well. That means Hayabusa is going to have a real problem sticking in the top 7, even in the top half of this grid might stay ahead of Gali, because Gali is quite the distance back, but that 3 seconds is going to knock him for 6. That's a certain. That's even if he stays ahead of Mayix all the way through the lap, who is really trying to put some pressure on now.
Yeah, 3 seconds of penalty for Hayabusa in the end of this lap time coming. Mayix will be back to 5th position. Now the question is, where will be Gunza after Hayabusa will serve this penalty? And in front of those drivers, it's still battling for the 2nd position between Baijim, Jaime Marti and Alex. 3 teams battling for the 2nd position of this race.
I was about to say, Visceral with Marty was a bit of a problem in the first stint where he kept picking up penalty, dropped to 8th at one point, but the fact that he's in 3rd right now puts Visceral in a good position to potentially steal a 1-2 from this race.
Yeah, and penalty to be served in few seconds for Hayabusa now after cutting the pit lane entrance. Or was it the exit? I don't know, to be honest, but I think I think it's the entrance. It's quite easy to cut the line there, and penalty to be served. Be careful with the ghosting and everything. Mayix now up to P5, and Gunza, where will be Gunza with Hayabusa? Oh, he will be very close, and there is a big delta of speed between the two cars.
That gap tumbled down extremely quickly, did it? All the way within half a second. And that is not good news for the Italian, because if you had well, it's good news you're in front of Gunza, but the problem is now you are very, very susceptible for an overtake very quickly here.
Yeah.
The Owls driver won't be too bothered by it. An extra position is an extra position at the end of the day. His race already subject to a little bit of disappointment because of his, the way he dropped it in that chicane. It was quite a heavy drop as well.
Yeah.
You're going to be looking to try and recover as much of that as you possibly can, because you've got to remember, Owl last week had a disconnect from 3rd, and then that dropped him all the way from being inside of that.
Oh, Gunza on the inside on Hayabusa. He's coming. Gunza on the inside. Can he manage to stay ahead at the exit? No, Hayabusa with a better exit, but Gunza will be on the inside at the entrance of the chicane. No, finally Hayabusa stays ahead. I think Gunza slow down to be back. Oh, but maybe the move on the inside. He goes for it.
He goes.
Oh, be careful.
Gets a little bit airborne.
Yeah. Be careful with the chicane and the big airtime coming.
He almost dropped it again there, did Gunza. Oh, he is not loving that chicane. The second part of the chicane has got his car in a stranglehold right now.
This chicane is deadliest in this race.
He might have a go at Hayabusa in about a lap or so. I don't think he's going to go down into turn 1. He might be a little bit too far away for that.
Ooh, but he's very close.
A good run. Looks to potentially the inside of turn 2. Doesn't quite get enough of a run for turn 2. Is there going to be anything in this for turn 3 and beyond? Bearing in mind they are actually both putting in a little bit of a number on Mayix right now. And the Spanish contingency is having another problem. Oh, the Italian got wide! The Italian gets a little bit wide there. Gunza tried again.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if there is a contact with Gunza at the start. I'm not sure about that. It was quite difficult to see with the camera angle, but Gunza is only 2 tenths behind Hayabusa now, chasing for this 6th position. They need points, all C-Sport, and he goes for the move on the inside, in the hairpin.
He's a lot better situated this time round. The problem is, he's going to get switched back, and it's a great
and Mayix with a penalty ahead.
Again!
Yeah, and there is... And here comes a new challenger for the top 5 with Mayix having this penalty, and it's maybe a 3 cars battle incoming for the top 5 with this penalty to be served by Mayix.
Also, Alex is ahead of Marty now, going a little bit further forward. So next year, one way forward, the other one's coming back toward the mid pack. So that mixed feelings in the last couple of corners there for Anexian, but now either way. We're about to see how much damage this is going to do to Mayix with Hayabusa in the middle of the straight, just trying to close that gap down. That gap will come under 2 seconds for the first time since the pit lane kicked in. 1.6 seconds now, the gap. What about the exit? It is about 1.6 seconds then. Between the three drivers, realistically, we want to go back to the L driver in 7th as well. Makes it under 2 seconds.
There are battle everywhere. There are battle everywhere for the top 2, for the top 5, even at the back of the midfield between with Joker's drivers and also Garazza battling for the top 10. We are with Jim, Alex and Jaime Marti battling for the second position, while Ligalas is all alone ahead, and Alex for the move on the inside in the hairpin. Alex back to second position. Be careful of Jaime Marti.
It's a good exit. It's a good exit for Jim. Look at that. Look at that on the exit. Is there going to be enough in this for him to keep second? We've seen the defence on the outside be a good stint so far in this one. He's going to have to defend the outside of the chicane. Airtime for Alex on the inside. And that's going to be Jim crowding him out just a little bit to hold on to second in the end.
Oh my god, and be careful with the very good exit of the chicane for Jaime Marti. He can maybe overtake Alex in the end of this lap 12, start of lap 13. Now
it's going to be down towards turn 1. I think he might go for this.
Yeah.
I think he might have a run. Or will he? Oh, someone's going to have a run. The real question, I don't think it was Marty in the end. Alex almost stormed into that turn 1. It's still just a little bit too far behind on By Jim to make it anything actually stick. And By Jim, it's hanging on by a thread.
And Mayik still 1.8 seconds ahead of Hayabusa and Guzza battling for the 6th position. Now entering in the 4, apex under 4 by Jim, Alex and Jaime sliding a little in this corner, but no major issue. Everyone is following each other, and Guzza still behind Hayabusa, but they are catching Mayik, I think, the two drivers in 6th and 7th position.
Yeah, just slightly catching Mike's. Mike's has done a good job to hang it as close as he can after the half-second penalty he had on the last lap. But yeah, as we just seen, the gap now chucked down to 1.5. So the two cars behind are going to pose a threat at some point in this race if they can work together to get close enough to the top 6. It looked like a 10th and a half here for Gunza, and they're not going to work together because he's being crowded out onto the grass. He's gone alongside and they're headed to the chicane. The Italian versus the L driver. The L driver the advantage on the inside in the first part of the chicane, but we know he's bad in the second half of the chicane. Not bad enough to not hold the position, however. Gunza up in a 6th. Oh, it's not a great exit. It's not a great exit in the slides. The Italian might come back at him here. All the way down towards turn 1 is going to be a long time to defend for the Spanish driver for Owls Esports. But he's going to have to do it with some sort of pace down towards turn 1. He does have an advantage. 1.5 tenths, less than 1.5 tenths now in their move. And moving to the inside for the Italian. He goes for it. Gets a little bit deep. Swings underneath for Gunza. And he holds on.
Yeah, and this battle will help Mayix to keep this 5th position because, the gaps remain the same between Gunza and Hayabusa, still 1.6, 1.7 seconds between P5 and P6. 3 laps remaining in this amazing race. Ligadas to take the win, most likely, but behind for the podium by Jim. Marty, who overtook Alex for the 3rd position, are still battling, and for the top 5, maybe 6th and 7th position, it's not sure to say who will finish at which position.
Yeah, it's still a lot of racing to go. Gunza has absolutely jocked Hayabasa at the moment, about 7 tenths of a second. I think it's safe to say that was a rush of blood from the Italian there in turn 1, because he saw it, must have seen it late, that the gap had come down, made the move, but you could tell he overshot it. As soon as he got on the brakes, you could tell that he had overshot turn 1. And I don't think the LG Sport team are going to complain if he does. Like that, again, launching in the chicane. It didn't look great for Mike there in the slightest, by the way. Oh, it didn't look great for the Italian.
Hayabusa lost the car! He lost the car in the chicane! Hayabusa will lost the top 5. Oh, so much point loss for TMR in the chase for being in the top 12. Now Hayabusa losing the car. Those jump on the chicane doesn't help at all.
That towards, it's that second part of the chicane again, when someone just gets a little bit out of sorts, and it's impossible to catch these cars. If the roll takes the control of it, it is gone, and that is what has happened to the Italian. It's not that's going to be heartbreaking realistically, because he was in the top 6 fighting for the top half of the grid.
By Jim too wide in the 4 apex under Jaime Marti on the inside for the second position. No, by Jim stays ahead, but it's very close for Jaime Marti for maybe a 1-2 for Visceral.
It's not over. It's not over by any means. Marti has got to have a go at this at some point. You have a funny feeling that it probably lines into turn 1. On the final lap here, where he gets his proper shot, unless something goes wrong for Jim in the back of the straight here. Here we go, out the hairpin. Who's got the better exit? Does not look like Marty got enough of an exit to trouble the Owls driver into the chicane, but as we've seen before, this chicane takes no prisoners. You have to hit it right every time, especially in this car while you're getting launched to the moon and not really getting much control of your car, so everyone gets a little bit of airtime. In the first part of the chicane, everyone somehow manages to survive the second part of the chicane, but it's not a good exit for Jim, who is being charged all the way down from the Visceral driver now, and they head onto the final lap. One last trip around the track here at Dragon Trail Gardens. What is going to be in store? 0.13. There will be a move attempted on the outside here by Marty, but the problem is
Alex.
Alex. I was about to say Alex on the inside. Contacted Alex is on his way through, and that'll push Marty all the way to the outside.
And the dream of a 1-2 for Visceral is already maybe gone after the exit of turn 2 with this overtake made by Alex on Jaime Marti. By Jim still in second position, but anything can happen. Those 3 drivers are so close from each other behind for the top 5. Gunza is back on the slipstream of Maix. Having 2 All-C spots in the top 5 is still possible. It's still possible, and there is a gap now between by Jim and Alex.
Yep, that's because Marty and Alex have been fighting the entire way through the lap. Marty almost sent it down the inside of the quadruple left-hander, which he's gonna do now! Down the inside he goes! I don't know if he's managed, he has, I think he might have Jim on the way through! Jim's off the track, he's in third!
No way! No way what Alex did now! And Alex is in second position! He took the opportunity after this move from Jaime Marti, and he's now in second position! Ligadas for the win, but there is one more chicane to do!
It's gonna come all the way to the end out front! Jim might look for a little bit of a move! He's gonna get a little bit of help from Marty, who'd hindered him in the hairpin just before. That was a lunge and some change there for Marty. That was never gonna work. I think he was trying to go after Alex, and at the end of the day, I think Alex is gonna get second in the result.
And be careful, Maix and Gunza, because Maix went too wide in the final corner, but he stays in 5th position. Oh my god, what a finish! And Hayabusa to finish in 7th position. But I think, my dear Pyro, you will have a lot to rewatch during the replay.
Yeah, I've got about 4 or 5 laps to watch again. That was just all over there. We might have to rewatch the final lap in its entirety. To be completely honest with you, that is going to take a lot. Gali in 8th, Garassa in 9th, Javi in 10th, Perry will come over in 11th, and Gino is going to finish out. His race never got off the ground at all. Fastest lap 44.8 is not going to cut it. We didn't even give Lagardas his flowers here, because everything that was going on in the background of the screen for second place, the Lagardas for Visceral wins the race.
Oh my god.
At the end of the day, that was just all over the place from start to finish.
Oh my god, what a race. What a race it was. Winner of this final race of the round 5, Ligadas, but behind him it was absolutely madness with Alex finishing in second position, by Jim on the podium third. Jaime Marti is finally P4. Maix, it was really close until the end with Gunza, but Mayix the second. Annexion drivers in the top 5. Gunza P6, Hayabusa P7, Gallicoit in 8th position, P9 Garazza Ravilton P10, Perry in 11th position, and Xinio last in this race. But wow. 4 races in this round, 4 different scenarios, but 4 very entertaining races.
Yeah, that second one today was absolutely off the chart. Everything in that got overtakes, contact. Well, everyone experienced something unless your name was Lagardas. It was out front by himself. It must have been feeling a little bit of FOMO, maybe missing out on everything. But let's have a look as we get through the share screen here.
Okay, I'm showing you the screenshot, and I let you comment
I'm just
everything.
Gonna go straight to the end.
Yeah,
I'm just going to go straight to the final lap.
Meanwhile, this will give me plenty of time to type all the results to provide you the total race standings.
Yeah, we're going to just run the entire final lap in its entirety realistically here, because there is just so much to watch in between by Jim in particular, by Jim, Marty and Alex in fourth, third and second. And we just got to take a look here, because it starts at the front. It starts at the beginning of the lap, lap 1. We all thought, realistically, heading down towards turn 1 here, that Marty would actually have a run. By Jim did well to hold on to this, because Marty should have gone and had a look to the inside here. He looks to the outside instead, defended by Jim. Alex obviously gets to the inside here. And we'll get to a little bit here. And there's the first bit of contact. There's the first bit of contact between the two. And we'll get a nice little look from Marty's point of view and from Alex's point of view here. And he goes through, misses the turn 1 apex just a little bit, drives into the side just a little bit on Marty, but it's enough to leave a wheel or two into the side door of the car to make sure that Alex gets by. It's not the cleanest overtake in the world, but cleanest overtakes in the world. That's going to look pitiful in comparison to what we watch at the end of the lap here. Bijim did not get any sort of exit in the quadruple right-hander. Looked a little bit all over the place. Didn't get a good exit there either. Didn't even make it onto the tarmac as we headed on the exit of the quadruple left-hander. Sorry, I keep saying right-hander like it's the forward version of this track. It's the left-hander because we're going in reverse. So we head down into this, and this is the point we wanted to see. This is the point we wanted to point out, because this is what we saw where we looked onto. Marty had made the dive on Alex. This is what we looked at. Is there anything in there? No, Jim just makes it. Oh. Jim just gets it wrong.
Yeah.
Jim just gets it. We'll have another look at this. And we'll do it from Alex's point of view, because it really needs to get the aspect of how much Marty just absolutely launched this. It looked like Jim tried to just make a little bit of a change to avoid Marty coming in. Let's have a look from the steering angle on Jim's car here, because I think he spots Marty late and tries to correct. Yeah, he does. He should just took the corner as normal and then gets crowded all the way out by Alex on the exit. That, again, more contact from Alex on the way through. Did it on both of them, albeit I'm not entirely sure he's got too much to realistically have to defend on that second one. Then we go through here. Alex is going to have to do a little bit of defending in the final chicane. I believe Marty gives by Jim a little bit of help, but Jim makes a little bit of a lunge to try and look at the end of the final chicane there. And it didn't work, and he gets a little bit of a bounce from Marty that makes him hold on to the final spot of that podium. That was just carnage to the final lap itself. That's just the final lap. We haven't even gone through the rest of the race itself. I noted down at least 3 more laps here. And we'll go back just a little bit. Just to see what we can do. I think I got lap 11 noted down, but we will go right back to the start on lap 2. And we'll see what it was. I think it was in the middle.
Times are already updated, my dear Pyro.
Beautiful. We'll go to we'll watch this and we'll go to that standings then, and then we'll figure it out from there. I think it was a little bit of a dive. The real question. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that was the dive. Okay, so now we get a nice little view of this. The real question is this Marty or is this Garassa? Because both of the cars peered into view there. So we'll go from Garassa's point of view. Marty picks up the half-second down. Not entirely sure how. Oh, it's contact from Garassa. It came through, and that's what happened to Bijim.
Yeah.
It was Garassa on the way through. Get another little bit of a camera angle here. We'll go from Marty's point of view just to get a nice little see what actually happened to Bijim as well. That's the half-second penalty. I'm not entirely sure where he got that from. Yeah, it's just on the inside, and I personally think he was going to hit Bijim anyway. At least he has plausible deniability at the end of it.
Oh, and look at Mayix on the left.
Hello on there. The outside just went, screw the track. Who needs that? Didn't see that in the actual race, but, you know, fair play to Mayix at the end of the day. Oh, that was contact. Yeah, that almost went straight through the back of him.
Yeah, big contact
and then
there.
I think the next one is lap 5, which I believe is the other bit of complete carnage.
Yeah, the carnage.
If I remember right. Yeah. Hold on, just have a look here with
the carnage of lap 5.
Gully. I don't think Gally does anything. No, Gally doesn't do anything. So we'll go to lap 5 here. And I'm pretty sure it's the final chicane again.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's lap 5 madness.
Right, we'll go forward. And I think it is Gonza here. So we'll get a nice little look at what happens to Gonza. Then there's one for Marty in the 6th. So we're going to have a look at this about 3 or 4 separate times just to figure out what has actually happened
just to
here.
see everyone, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll start with the furthest car forward. Because this is what I saw on my screen when we were going through. Oh, it just dropped it. It just flat dropped it. There's more. Oh, there's contact already here. So we'll go through. So that's what happened with Gonza. So he just drops the car. What happens here with Alex? Alex also, he tried to avoid.
Oh, yeah.
And then gets punted for good measure by Jim on the way through. Alex just about holds onto the car. I believe that is Busa on the way through here as well. We'll just get a camera angle of that. That was Alex avoiding Gonza and then getting a little bit of a tap from Jim on the way through. Yeah,
oh, Jesus Christ, the Lord!
Just about survived the re-entry there. And then we know that something happens with Marty here as well. I think this might actually just be avoiding the re-entry. Mayix was sensible. Oh, no, it's not. He's just dropped himself.
He lost it all alone, yeah, all alone.
Oh, this is just it's absolute carnage on the way through. So now we've seen everything that happened in that just one chicane. We could go to lap 11, which is the final thing I have noted down. And then see how much, well, it's been a mess the entire way through here, quite frankly, up to this point. So we will now try and hit lap 11. That's a lap shot.
Yeah.
Real question is who... I try to remember, there's so much happened in this race, I try to remember what was the actual incidents. Lap 11 again, I think it was the chicane again.
Oh, was it Hayabusa or Garassa losing the car there? No, I'm not sure.
Was it?
Oh, it's maybe in the
I think it might have been Hayabasa, actually.
Yeah, maybe in the airpin, right? I don't know. I forgot.
Where is he? I'm trying to figure out which Italians which at this point. I noted something down, but I can't remember what I noted down.
Oh, right there.
Look at that. That's a
wow.
Anyway, nice little switchback.
Pretty smooth.
You got Alex ahead of Marty. That's all still the same.
Maybe in the chicane in front again? For P2 or...
Yeah, it looked like it might have been the drop here. I think Hayabasa drops the car. Is it here? Is it? I don't actually know. We're gonna have to. I'll figure that out.
No problem.
We can go to the standard there. I mentioned I saw something, and I don't know what the hell I saw. But yeah, that is what it is. And we can go to the stand. We'll go to the final standings on the week then.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the standings, rankings right here. So let's show first the top 12 Freebie Sports winners of the round 5 in terms of total race time for B-Racer and Adu. The Vanquish Sport P2, 92 Sport, third Visceral, who won the final race of the evening with Ligadas in 4th position. Annexion in 8th position for the second team of this lobby. All C Sport just behind P9, and in the second part of the standings for the 3 last team. Team Monza Racing 17th for Garazza and Hayabusa. Avutada Racing Team P20 and Joker's Team 22 in the general standings for this round 5. But there is maybe some penalty applied for some incident during those 4 races. So we will wait the definitive results in the coming few days, of course, to know what points awarded for each team. But congrats everyone, it was 4 amazing races, and congrats to Freebie Sports taking this first position in the total race standings.
Yeah, Simfreem bouncing back, and that's what they've needed. They've had a couple of weeks where obviously Austria was good for them, but the 2 weeks before that were okay at best for a team the size of Simfreem. So they needed to bounce back. They did well in Austria with the strategy, and today, yesterday rather, when they raced, they knocked out the park.
Yeah, but that was a round five, absolutely amazing to watch with 4 amazing races. Next round, no more road cars, a more conventional racetrack, because it's Barcelona without the chicane, I think, with the Honda NS6 GT500 from 2008. It's gonna be, I think, a very, very interesting race with this Group 2 a car on a very famous racetrack, Barcelona Catalunya, without the infamous chicane. It's going to be very interesting, and it's one of the last opportunity to score big points before the playoffs.
Yeah, and every team's going to need all that points in the Group 2. Probably the easiest car to get used to out of what that we've seen and so far, to be honest with you. The real question is who's going to be able to drive it the best.
Yeah. Well, it was absolutely amazing to broadcast to you those 2 evenings of races. Thank you very much, Pyro. I don't know if you have anything else to say before closing the broadcast.
Not really. No, I am good. I've enjoyed this day. It's been a fun day of racing, and it's fun to see what lies ahead.
Well, thank you very much, Pyro. It was a pleasure to have you for this broadcast. It was the first time, and it was a really cool experience. So thank you very much, Pyro. Thank you to all the viewers in the chat for coming and for watching those races with us. See you next week for the round 6 of the InfinityGSeries. Have a good night, everything, and see you soon on the channel. Bye bye.
In a bit.